Yo, this is Set with Set Media, man. I'm here to talk to you about our partner, Kalshi. Kalshi is the largest legal prediction market in the United States with over 1 million users. It's available in all 50 states. They are a real money market. People trading on what they think will happen. You can build a position and trade in and out of almost any prediction you think. Kalshi facilitates trade between people kind of like the stock market. There's no limiting your trades just because you're winning. Kalshi will pay you interest on your position. So if you make a long-term trade, you can earn a return even before the market is resolved. If you want to try out Kalshi, go ahead and give them a try, guys, at my link, kalshi.com/setmedia. Get $20 when you trade 20, so it's 20 for 20, guys. Once again, that's kalshi.com/setmedia. Go ahead and use my code setmedia to get $20 when you trade 20. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Kalshi, because like I said, it is a trading market where you can put in your prediction and you can go ahead and earn interest on that. You can make money off the knowledge that you know, and if you put $20 in, you get $20 back. So all right, guys, make sure to go check out my guy at Kalshi, because you can get in on good trades like who will Trump nominate as Fed chair, will Ali Khamenei be outed as the supreme leader, and will the US confirm that aliens exist before 2027. So if you want to get in on this action, once again, go ahead and go to my partners at Kalshi. Go ahead and use the link, or you can hit the QR code above and use Set Media to go ahead and get $20 when you trade 20. This is Set from Set Media, and shout out to Kalshi. Yo, and we are live. Yo, this is Set with Set Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. And guess what, guys? Yes, it is my birthday. So, shout out, man. 31 years old, and hopefully I can make it to many, many more. But all right, guys, we're about to go ahead and get right into the media analysis, because we got a couple of debates that popped off on CNN, Fox News, and other places as well that I want to go over. So let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video, and let's jump right into it, guys. Like I said, double tap that screen.
Us. This is a war of aggression.
What is international law? Who's enforcing international law?
Who is the aggressor here?
Us. We are the aggressor.
Can you name a single political concession we've gotten from them? Anything at all?
Or are you talking to
any political concession? Because you can't name one.
So here's what we're doing.
No political concessions.
When you get up at past your bedtime, you get hyper. Here's the deal.
We are.
You call piracy in if words don't have any meaning, but like we have sanctions against these vessels, and
name one political concession. Name one political concession.
Good evening. I'm Abby Phillip in New York. Tonight, a new question. Just how popular is this war with Iran? President Trump says that the war with Iran could take days at first if he wanted to, but then he said it would be weeks. And now he says that now that it's carried into its third month, despite higher gas prices at home and plummeting polls at home as well, Pete Hegseth is saying that America is right behind the president.
When I talk to Americans, and especially when I talk to the troops, they are grateful for a president who has the courage to take on this threat after 47 years of what Iran has done, targeting and killing Americans.
What I'm concerned about is we are not safer. And I would just like to know why you have not sought the support of the American people. And 3 out of 5 Americans are against this war today.
Yeah.
I believe we do have the support of the American people, and we have briefed regularly what.
I'm sorry, but you're losing the support of the American people, especially since people are seeing close to $5 a gallon on the east side. Like, guys, I just went to go fill up $4.79, which, I mean, guys, yes, I can afford it, but bruh, I'm paying $4.79 on my birthday. That's tough. That's tough, but still a good day.
What this mission looks like and why it's critically important that we undertake it.
You don't care whether
when the American people
support this war.
The American people are quite smart. They understand and see through spin. They know that a regime that says death to America. Hey,
shout out to my man Noah Jordan for the baller alert. All right, he says, happy birthday, Set. Hope your birthday wishes for the bullshit war to be finished. Man, I wish it would end today, man. Look, if it had ended today, I wouldn't have been paying $4.79 a gallon for gas on a full tank. And my tank holds about 12, so you do the math. It wasn't very nice. Oh,
Seeks
15.
nuclear weapons and
And
the
at
ability
what
to deliver.
cost?
Did they lie about the range of their missiles?
Dog.
Yeah, Pete Hegseth wasn't acting macho. He
Did
was
they?
playing a macho person on TV. He is not actually macho. We are dealing with a war that is failing on a daily basis as Donald Trump has taken
his
to
machismo.
because he was performing. It was a performance for
He's the
Donald
expert.
Trump.
Didn't you know?
I was
It's a
wondering.
performance for Donald Trump.
That
I
always
mean,
gotta
Donald
get.
Trump, it's very impressive. He's taken his two largest
Hey,
campaign
hold up.
promises. No new
Hold on, man. Hold up. Shout out my man Monty. Ain't no way. Shout out Monty, dog. Hold up. Happy birthday. He said, hopefully you can get gas. And my man sent a $500 on the Venmo. And shout out to my man Gaming, man. Hey, yo, bro, Gaming. You know I always appreciate it. He said, sorry I don't have more, but remember, old is the gold. Gray hairs is the gold. Congrats, man. Hey, facts. I appreciate that, dog. Hey, man, I truly appreciate you guys. And you know what? I don't say this enough. I really don't, but I truly do appreciate you guys. No matter the arguments we get into and heated exchange, you got to honestly understand. I appreciate you guys. I honestly do love you guys, regardless of our disagreements. Like, outside of all this, guys, I truly do see you guys as dear friends. But all right, now enough with all that sappy stuff. Let's get right into it.
wars and lower prices, ending inflation, and he's messed both of them up. He started a new war that spiked inflation, and now this war is actively failing. An interesting statistic is that Americans have spent collectively $23 billion extra dollars on the gas pump, and that's money that could have gone towards daycare, towards childcare. We'll sit here and you'll laugh at Americans spending money, but the reality is we are failing this war. The purpose of a war is to extract political concessions from the enemy. Can you name a single political concession we've gotten from them? Anything at all?
Or are you talking to
Any political concession?
So-
Because you can't name one.
No, I ain't gonna lie, bro is on his ass. Like, do you see how he just looking at him directly the entire time? Like, so you got a concession? You got anything? I mean, you know what? When I was watching this the first time, I was like, I would not be surprised if Scott Jennings got up and Loki got in his face, because he is Loki, like, in his face trying to grill him. But he has a really good point. Can you name any concessions? And right now, we cannot name any concessions that Iran has given us. They're playing hardball all the way through.
So here's what we're doing.
No political concessions.
When you get up past your bedtime, you get hyper. Here's the deal. We
Let's not
have a clear issue
You're
here.
shaking, bro.
We
Your
have a
hand's
clear
shaking.
issue here.
Come on.
No nuclear weapons for the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. Period. Full stop. The president believes, and he may be right. I spoke to a retired.
I'm gonna go ahead and do the first hour. We're gonna do reaction first hour, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bring on some of you guys on. Get that calling line.
Admiral today, Mark Montgomery, who's at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. They think the blockade is actually more effective than the military campaign. And a little patience on the blockade here, where we cripple the Iranian economy, where we kill their currency, which is happening as we speak. Where
I ain't gonna lie. We've been killed their currency. Ben did it since December. That's why that protest popped off, because we destroyed their currency. So that's already been accomplished. So if that was the goal, trust me, we knocked that out like a month ago, 2 months ago, actually. Well, my bad, 4 months ago. So shout out to that. But here's the problem, though. They're still able to fight, even though with a crushed currency. And they can still, export oil and other things through the Caspian Sea, which is north of Iran. So yes, they still have the Caspian Sea, and they still have a railway with China. Now, you could say we could destroy this railway, but the problem is, we better catch it before it gets out of Iran, or we're going to be dealing with China.
put pressure on China because they need to get their oil flowing again. A little bit of patience right here.
Right.
Not bombs, but patience on a naval blockade could get the outcome you want, which is no nuclear weapons for the largest state sponsor of terror.
You've been saying this for 8 weeks, and we are now past the 4 to 6 week deadline. Where is the enriched uranium right now?
It's under rubble.
Where is it right now? In the United States or Iran? Iran still has the enriched uranium. They still have the scientists scattered across their country, and they have all of the blueprints in the cloud. You can sit there and act confused, but you can't name a single political concession
It's
that
not
we've
over
gotten
yet.
from Iran.
It's not over yet.
Okay, but also on that fact, why are we talking about the strategy of this? This isn't a legal war. This is terrorism. We are turning our military into pirates. We are seizing civilian vessels. Additionally,
Sanctioned Iranian vessels that have gone through a DOJ process.
And here's the thing, I always like to be a little bit charitable, but yeah, that's the problem. Putting a blockade on top of a blockade wasn't the best move, because now, I'm gonna be honest with you, nothing is getting through. So no Iranian ships. I mean, the shadow fleets is somehow still getting through, but no official ships by a nation are getting through the Strait of Hormuz because of the Iranians, and the Iranians can't really get through too much through. Not even really the shadow fleets, because those are barely making it through because of the naval blockade. And the problem is that the Iranians don't want to talk until the naval blockade's released. So if we don't release that blockade, well, the Strait of Hormuz stays closed or shut down by the Iranians. Now, what is Trump going to do? Is he going to fight for the Strait of Hormuz, or is he going to back off and just let Iran be I wouldn't say new rulers, but I guess the new founding rulers of the Strait of Hormuz? So we don't want that. We don't need that. But sadly, that's where it's looking like it's going, unless he takes further naval action or just military action in general.
We are.
You call piracy and if words don't have any meaning, but like we have sanctions against these vessels, and the EU has sanctions against these vessels. In some cases, the UN has sanctions.
But one of the most egregious aspects of this is the white Christian nationalist twist that Pete Hegseth has added onto this talk, saying that this conflict that we
hold on now. It's the white Christian Zionists. This the Zionist Christian. The Christian Zionists are the one. They're the only people pushing this. And if you're a Christian Zionist, I'm sorry, but you guys are the only people pushing this. The other Christian denominations are looking at y'all like y'all tripping. But you guys are the only ones that's really pushing this. And yes, Pete Hegseth is a Christian Zionist. Like, goes to a Christian Zionist church and all that.
Started, that we have sacrificed our own service members for, is ordained by God. Is bombing a school full of schoolgirls ordained by God? Is our prices going up and us not being able to afford an ambulance, we call an Uber instead? Is that ordained by God?
In 1983, I was in Beirut when the Marine Corps barracks was blown up by a suicide bomber sponsored by the Iranians.
It's not 1983,
230 Marines died.
That's awful. That's terrible. But that is not.
They
not
also
1983.
took out a couple of dozen at the U.S.
Oh no, Gamey. No, you're right. Iranian vessels have always been sanctioned. But remember, we did release some of the sanctions off their oil. So there's that. And then not only that, remember, they have shadow fleets that was able to make it through the Strait of Hormuz. Not Iranian fleets, but shadow fleets that they fake where it's coming from. They fake their geolocation somehow, some way, and they're able to get past with hiding their identity or hiding the fact that they actually came from Iran. Like, that's actually been reported as well.
Embassy.
Geraldo, we murdered an entire school of children.
You can't make
two of them.
You can't make them, suddenly a victim.
Okay, the real question is, what have we got?
I actually think the school children are victims. I think the civilians that are dead are
so
victims.
Are the Marines.
I do, but hold on. I do think, just to be clear, I mean, obviously, Marines being killed is terrible. School children being killed is terrible. But there's a big difference between Iran willfully bombing U.S. military targets and the United States bombing a school and then not acknowledging it, which is its own separate problem. But the school children are civilians. They're civilians point blank. They should never be targeted. We are, according to some people, already at the 60-day mark of this war. And technically, they're supposed to come to Congress on it. Pete Hegseth was questioned about this today. Listen to this.
The War Powers Resolution specifies that a war initiated by a president without congressional approval must be concluded within 60 days. Ultimately, I would defer to the White House and White House counsel on that. However, we are in a ceasefire right now, which our understanding means the 60-day clock pauses or stops in a ceasefire.
I am crying. So basically, guys, like I said, it was funny how he did him on that. He was like, so look, man, we was under a ceasefire, even though we was doing a complete naval blockade, which is basically a military action. But F it, we was under a ceasefire. So yeah, whenever we started that, we got to set back the clock. So what does that mean? You guys got like 7-8 more days? Because how long we been under the ceasefire? Like a week? So what? I mean, I guess y'all guys got 7 more days, according to Pete Hegseth. And I personally don't agree with what he's saying, but I mean, I'll let him have it. I'll be charitable and let him have it. But that means you only got like 7-8 days left to conclude this, where you got to ask for Congress to keep funding this war.
You're not in. Yeah. It's our understanding, just so you know.
Okay, well, I do not believe the statute would support that.
I mean, that was essentially how the Obama administration interpreted the statute.
And Republicans disagreed with it at the time.
100%. I think it would be cleaner.
So just to be clear,
it'd be a good act of constitutional hygiene. And it's not, you need to conclude within 60 days. You need to conclude or have authorization from Congress within 60 days.
Exactly. So now, they could come to Congress and get authorization. Why not?
Or they could challenge the statute, which, as somebody who has either sponsored legislation to repeal or reform every extant authorization for the use of military force and to reform war powers more broadly, I also have to confess the War Powers Act of 1974, the constitutional underpinnings of that are shaky.
Yeah.
It may not hold up.
Maybe so, but it's the law of the land, and it has not been.
Congress has the power of the purse, and this is the reality: is that if Congress continues to authorize the Department of War, if they continue to pass the,
do me a favor and double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen.
National Defense Appropriations Act, they continue to do that. That will
They're not going to shoot down the Defense Act on the basis of a war that Donald Trump is running. Why would we shoot down all of our defense?
The National Defense Act. The National Defense Act comes up once a year. I think it's probably this year. It's usually toward the end of the year.
They also are requesting a supplemental.
They're requesting a supplemental, but they haven't actually done that fully yet. And I do think it raises the question, do they just get to pause this thing whenever they feel like it, even though there is an active blockade? And a blockade involves the U.S. military threatening with force that if any
act of war.
Yeah, it is considered an act of war. So how does that not count?
I think that interpretation, however, is subject to reasonable acceptance and interpretation. If indeed there is a ceasefire, don't you want to encourage the ceasefire? Don't you want to encourage this peace?
Yeah, but there's also a naval blockade, which is by definition not a ceasefire.
But also,
we're still in war.
We're talking legalities when it comes to war powers and all this. Yeah. This is bird law, right? It is not governed by reason. You know, you can't get. No, it's always something.
What do you mean?
Fans here.
That wasn't the best answer, but no, we are arguing on legality of it. It's like, so what? Is this technically, since we're not dropping bombs, is that a ceasefire? But we can still do a naval blockade during a ceasefire, like. You know, at that point, we're arguing what constitutes a ceasefire. And that's the case, and I'll just give it to Hexef. I'll be like, all right, man, if say playing semantics, we'll go ahead and let y'all continue y'all little bombing campaign. But we're just gonna say you got like 7 days left. And I'm not sure what you can do within them 7-8 days, but hopefully you get it done, because then you got to go to Congress. So Lord knows Congress ain't giving it to y'all.
Can I just take it back?
Wait. What do you mean by bird law?
I mean that when we try to apply like normal rhetoric, normal logic, normal dictionary definitions,
as we do in a democracy. Like, we're not Iran. We don't get to just like ignore the law.
The international legal repercussions,
right? If we're talking about that, what international legal repercussions?
This is a war of aggression.
What is international law? Who's enforcing international law?
Who is the aggressor here?
Us. We are the aggressor.
Against
we
Iran?
launched this war.
Yeah,
Yes, just because Iran exists.
I ain't gonna lie, this language is starting to get dangerous from the right when we're kind of just saying F international law whenever we want to. Because it's like, think about it like this. Like we don't even have an argument against Putin no more. Putin went in there and invaded Ukraine. We went in there and preemptively struck Iran. Like, we have no grounds to argue. We lost the moral argument. So at this point, it's like, yo, maybe we should stop saying F international law. Who's going to check us? Because then when China and Russia does it, then who are we to say anything about it?
Did all of U.S. history exist before the last 8 weeks to you, or just
it started on February 28th?
Listen, we all know.
I mean, honestly, they have been at war with us for 47
We
years.
all know that Scott Jennings is more than happy to defend a war with a country that starts with the letters IRA that we are currently failing, that is going to put us trillions and trillions of dollars more in debt. I was only a few years old while you were in the administration defending prior endless wars. Now this war is failing.
8 weeks is endless to you?
Okay, you said it was going to be 4 to 6 weeks.
You have the attention span of a gnat?
Homie, I debated you on TV 4 to 6 weeks ago, and you said we were weeks away from it. Now you're making condescending remarks because you can't defend the fact that this war is not going your way. Wait, one more time.
Not going
Name one political concession. Name one political concession.
I'm not going to have this guy.
Everybody.
No, I felt that. No, he has every right to do that. I'll be real with you. He got in his face, hawking him down. I'm be real with you. Scott Jessens doesn't have really much to say, but damn, bro, be charitable. Let him explain himself. But he's like, no, bro, I'm in your face about this. You was talking a lot of ish in the beginning, and now I'm in your face, and he's looking directly at him. He's like, you're shaking. I'm like, bro, like, are you trying to be knocked out on television? But I'm sorry, that just been me if he was hawking me down like that. But I respect it. Shout out Scott. Shout out Scott Jennings. I mean, he may be losing the argument, but he has every right to get upset.
Everybody hang tight.
Honestly.
Okay. No, everybody calm down, okay?
Damn.
We're having a debate. You can respond to the points that he's making.
Can you name a political concession that we've got?
We had a flashback to the war the skinheads had in my studio.
I would be mad if I had to defend the war too. I would be mad if I had to defend the war.
Scott, you can respond.
But all right, though, let's get into something a little bit more concerning, because I've been saying this for a while, but now it is now public information that how is a depleted Iran damaging so many U.S. bases? So let's get into this. Like I said, this is very concerning. And I've been saying that this was going down for like what? I said this about at the beginning of the war, that our bases are getting hit and they're getting decimated. And, people only want to believe it. And rightfully so. I didn't want to believe it either. But yes, some of our bases have been rendered uninhabitable. But let's get into it.
Unprecedented destruction. A CNN investigation discovering Iran has caused extensive damage to a majority of the U.S. military sites in the region. Precise Iranian missile and drone strikes, aided by sophisticated Chinese technology, hitting some of America's most crucial military assets in the Middle East. The extent of the damage unknown until now. Our Tamara Kablawi is out front.
Camp Buring, Kuwait. American soldiers enjoying a karaoke night at one of the biggest U.S. military hubs in the Gulf. That was then. This is now. A once bustling American microcity in the desert, nearly empty and heavily damaged after a weeks-long barrage of Iranian missiles and drones. One of many U.S. military facilities in the oil-rich Arabian Peninsula, targeted by Iran even as the
U.S. Guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, though. But let me read you this report. Based on a 2026 report, Iranian strikes damaged and destroyed at least 16 U.S. military installations across 8 Middle Eastern countries, representing a majority of U.S. position in the region. These strikes caused unprecedented multi-billion-dollar damage to critical infrastructure, including at least one E-3 Century aircraft in Saudi Arabia and THAAD missile defense radar systems. So yes, and these key damages based in locations. The ones in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE, Jordan, Qatar, Iraq, across the board. Let's get into it.
US and Israel pummeled the Islamic Republic's large arsenal. So what impact have Iran's strikes had on America's footprint in the Middle East? A CNN investigation found evidence of unprecedented destruction. We can reveal that strikes damaged at least 16 U.S. installations across 8 countries. According to our analysis and sourcing, that's the majority of American military positions in the region, and some of them are virtually unusable now. A U.S. source familiar with the situation told us that they'd never seen anything like this at American bases, that these were rapid, targeted strikes using advanced technology. Iran's main targets? Multi-million-dollar aircraft, like this Boeing E-3 Century, which gave the U.S. a huge amount of visibility over the Gulf. It's out of production, and in today's money, it's worth nearly $500 million. Critical communications equipment. Look at these giant golf balls. They're known as radomes, and they protect satellite dishes vital for data transmission. In this base alone, Iran destroyed all but one of the radomes less than a month into the war. And crucially, radar systems. Highly sophisticated, expensive, difficult to replace, and critical to air defense. A second U.S. source, this one a congressional aide familiar with damage assessments, described these as the most cost-effective of the targets. Our radar systems, they said, are our most expensive and our most limited resource in the region. For U.S. allies in the region, there's a dilemma. In some ways, Iran's show of force makes the U.S.'s presence in the region even more necessary to Gulf security. But there's a new reality here, which is that U.S. military installations, previously seen as formidable fortresses, have turned into sitting targets. As a Saudi source told me, the war has shown Saudi Arabia, that's the U.S.'s longest-standing Arab ally, that the alliance with the U.S. cannot be exclusive, and it is not, in their words, impregnable. To get a sense of just how vulnerable U.S. facilities have become, have a look at this. It's the war room at Qatar's El Udeid Air Base, the theater command and control hub for U.S. air power across 21 nations. Struck not just once, but twice. And according to a U.S. source, causing significant damage. The base had been largely evacuated at this point, and no casualties were reported. Iran's visibility over its targets has never been clearer. In 2024,
you know what's so crazy about them finally reporting this is that they're like 6 weeks late, bro. I've been telling you guys this for like literally like last month. Actually, I was telling you guys this since March, that our bases are getting decimated out there as this war continues. And sadly, I was honestly hoping that I was wrong, but to be real with you, I kept hearing it from reputable sources, but I never heard mainstream media report on it. Well, until last night, and here we are, dealing with that reality that yes, they were able to strike our military bases throughout the Middle East and cause significant damage. Now, does this mean that Iran's winning the war? Of course not. Of course not. But it does show that our government is hiding the results that are out there in the battlefield.
according to the Financial Times, Tehran secretly acquired a Chinese satellite known as the TEE-01B, a massive upgrade from its own satellites.
Oh, yes, guys. Yeah, it is my birthday today. So appreciate the support, guys. And yes, shout out to being 31. 3 decades and 1 year of living and surviving.
That means that Tehran went from looking at images of this quality to this. This is the first time America has fought an adversary with satellites that capture high-res imagery almost as detailed as its own. As the scale of the damage comes into focus, many will wonder whether America's presence, once a protective shield in the Middle East, has turned into its Achilles heel.
Responding to our findings, the Pentagon.
You know what? I know what you're thinking. Like, come on, Set. It's CNN. And I get it. I get that criticism. But this is also coming from the New York Times, the New Republic News. Like, it's coming from multiple sources, guys. Like, from the right and the left when it comes to media. Times of India. Certain YouTube channels have been talking about this. I mean, I can give you multiple sources, guys, multiple sources from not only the Middle East, from out there, from like places like Turkey today, like Iran damaged majority of U.S. military sites in the Middle East, but all the way out here to guys, like I said, guys like CNN and the News Republic. So, nah, guys, it's not just something that's being told on the left. It's being told on both sides, both on independent media and not really out there on TV, but as you see, New York Times and all these other guys want to write about it as well. So, like I said, this is not coming from CNN, guys. It ain't just coming from me. This is coming from multiple reputable sources.
Pentagon officials said that the Defense Department does not discuss damage assessments, but that U.S. forces remain fully operational with the same readiness and combat effectiveness. We also understand from our sources that the vast majority of U.S. troops evacuated their positions in the Middle East, with many working from the relative safety of hotels and apartments.
And make sure to double tap that screen like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that icon above.
In the Arabian Peninsula.
What stands out to you about all this?
Well, Aaron, what's interesting is that the U.S. intercept rate is likely somewhere in the 95% level right.
Shout out to my man. Okay, so shout out to my man Monty. I just caught it. He said it on a Rumble Ring. He said, when China and Russia decided to play games, we can do whatever we want about it. Fuck international law. We're the only ones that enforce it. I mean, no, that's absolutely fair. That's fair. You got not like I know a lot of people think, oh, Monty's always disregarding international law, but you got to be honest though. When Russia and China are literally helping these guys out, I mean, can we really abide by national law when we're knowing they're getting, support from them? And let's be real, closing down the Strait of Hormuz, that's also breaking international law as well. So both sides are not giving a damn about international law. And that's the problem with this war, because it's exposing that international law really don't mean nothing at the end of the day. When both sides are breaking international law, it's just like, all right, well, what does this even mean? And once again, who enforces international law? Oh, yes, we do. So if we're the ones breaking it, then who checks us? Nobody? Then what is international law really?
Right now, these look predominantly.
I'll be fair. And shout out to my man Monty. Oh, so the whole Iran is a threat thing we have been saying for years is true? It's almost like Republicans have said that. Hold on. If we didn't attack them, remember, it was an imminent threat, aka they were going to do this to us regardless. That's what they were saying, and that was false. We hit them. They told us that they were going to strike our bases. So if we hit them, that means we've accepted. And this is the effed up part of why I'm always upset about this war. They told us what they were going to do. They told us they were going to hit infrastructure and military targets throughout the Middle East. We did it anyway. that means we accepted that they were going to strike those targets. And maybe we had the idea that we could protect them all, and we said, oh, well, who cares? But obviously that's shown to be the wrong choice.
Like drone strikes, that's our assessment, the Shaheeds that did this rather than Iranian ballistic missiles. But it does show if the intercept rate is somewhere around the 95% level, that 5% or so are getting through and they are having damage. So the system that the U.S. has in place is not foolproof. It's very good, but it's not foolproof. And I would just say, sort of big picture, if your shift to the Indo-Pacific with the PLA, the Chinese People's Liberation Army Rocket Force, U.S. bases across the region, Japan, Philippines, and other places are going to be at much more severe danger than what we're seeing now in the Middle East.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you talk about with the damage done by the drones, right, that the missile.
Hey, man, shout out to my man, Tom Brewer. He says, happy birthday, Seth. Keep up the good work. You're killing it out here. Hey, I appreciate that, my man. And guys, I really want to let y'all know, I hate reporting this stuff, but I got to keep it real with you guys. And of course, you guys are going to take it in the way you want to take it in, but I'm always going to keep it real. And I'm never going to really try to bullshit you. And if you catch me trying to bullshit you, call me out, because trust me, it's not my intention to do so. Because I've been sitting on this information for a while and I haven't really pushed it out there because I'm just like, well, I'm hearing it come from a few sources, but not everybody's screaming about it. Now that everybody's screaming about it, it makes you really wonder, what aren't we being told at this point? And like I said, P.K.X.F. and Donald Trump saying that, oh, well, their Navy is being destroyed, or their Navy's been destroyed. They're using their Navy to close down the Strait of Hormuz. So what do you mean? They have thousands of missiles and drones, so that hasn't been destroyed. And if we get back into it with them, we're going to see that as being true. So, you know, we got a lot to deal with when it comes to Iran. And that guy on a, well, man, what was that liberal's name that was on Scott Jennings' face? I don't even know the guy's name, but he had a really good point. What were the goals that were accomplished? What are they? Because it's 60 days and not one has been accomplished. And if you want to talk about grinding down their military capability, we're not even sure if we did that.
Interceptor rate may be, exceptional. 5% can cause huge damage, but then there's the drones. You have done incredible reporting, you and all of CSIS, on the depletion of U.S. Offensive capabilities, missile inventories specifically as well. Trump was asked about that earlier today. Seth, I wanted to play part of what he said.
All over the world we have inventory, and we can take that if we need it. But all over the world we have tremendous amounts of inventory, the best. For instance, we're stocked and locked and loaded. Right now, we have more than double what we had when this started.
More than double what we had when this started, and tremendous amounts of inventory. I mean, what do you even make of such comments? Obviously false when it comes to things like Tomahawks, but what do you make overall?
Well, I think what's important is that not all
Tomahawks, interceptor missiles, I think is the Patriots. Yeah, those are the things that we're low on. The things that we need the most in this war, we're actually low on. So that's the concerning problem. And it's actually funny. The things that we need most in this war, we don't have high production in, which is absolutely outrageous. Which really made me think that he probably should have put, infrastructure and manufacturing first if he wanted to actually get into a full-on war with anybody.
Missiles are created equal. I mean, one of the advantages the U.S. had over time in Iran was that it had air dominance. It could use short-range missiles like.
Now, okay, shout out to my man Monty. It's very simple. Iran's the bad guys, America the good guys. And I know that's exactly how Monty's saying it. But yes, and you know what? It's very complicated. And I know what you're saying, like, Seth, what do you mean it's complicated? Because how we see it, we see ourselves as the good. Actually, bro, people in America don't even see us as the good guys because we preemptively struck them. The world, sadly, is on Iran's side. Why? Because, well, we preemptively struck them, and we're pretty much trying to say, F your sovereignty, give up your missile capabilities, your right to enrich, and all that good stuff. And then we threatened to decimate their entire, civilization, even though we didn't do it, thank God. But you got to understand, like, the way the world sees this, they do not see us as the good guys. And the way the people of the United States see it, bro, most people don't see us as the good guys in this war, especially since the bombing of the girls' school. And I know I see my people as the good guys. I see our soldiers as the good guys. But I'm be real with you, the decision that our government is making right now, that Trump is making, is not making us look like the good guys, even though I know that our soldiers go out there with the best intentions.
Joint direct attack munitions, or JDAMs. The problem that the U.S. has in the Pacific right now is it's going to have to use long-range missiles because the Chinese have such extensive capabilities to hit targets in what we call the first and second island chains, like out to Guam. And there, the U.S. stockpiles of long-range munitions, like Tomahawks, like JASSMs, like long-range anti-ship missiles, LRASMs, they are in very limited supply right now. And the same thing with the interceptors. So what really matters in this discussion is not missiles per se. It's not helpful to talk about missiles in general. It's the missiles you need to deter in specific situations.
Which I think is just so crucial. And what you lay out there is so important. And it's important for Americans to understand all of this and the truth. Obviously, you know, what he said there is at best extremely misleading about something so important for national security. He also talked today, Seth, about something about Iran, right? What does Iran really have left? Okay, the military. And he was very specific. Here he is.
We get the radical left to say, we're not winning. We're not winning. They don't have any military left. It's unbelievable. It's actually, I believe it's treasonous. Okay, you want to know the truth? It's treasonous.
And he said that Iran they've got nothing left. Okay, you've looked specifically at that, and you found that Iran does still have a lot left when you look at drones, you look at missile launchers.
Yeah, this comes from our own intelligence. So our own U.S. intelligence and, well, the CIA wing of the Pentagon, which is the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, both of these guys are telling us that actually Iran still has a good amount of their Navy left. They still have thousands of missiles and drones that are still a problem. Oh, yeah, and they have these underground bases that we have no way of hitting, and they're still able to make drones and missiles under these bases. Oh, and did I mention we have no way of hitting them? So, yeah, we got a problem here. And this is what our intelligence is telling the president. And apparently they're just not trying to hear it.
Aaron, I mean, look, there's no question, first of all, that Iran has its capabilities across the boards are degraded. The video you showed of U.S. bases, what the extent of the damage in Iran is much more significant than what U.S. bases have received. Nevertheless, despite that damage, the Iranians have hid stuff underground.
Oh, shout out to my man Monty coming in again on Rumble. He said the same world that 90% of us third world countries, that 90% of that are dictators, we are the good guys. We decide to take our own interests seriously, and somehow we're the bad guys. Nah. I feel you on that one, but I don't know. Look, when it came to our side of the hemisphere, I was like, okay, yeah, that's within our interest. Kicking China the F out of here and Russia, sure. I'm all about dominating our hemisphere. But going all the way out to Iran and seeing the threat that Iran is, it just isn't worth it. And then, like I said, we're going off of, oh, these guys are going to build a nuke. Guys are just 2 weeks away from building a nuke. And they've been saying that for years. So we know that ain't true. So at this point, we were in a war with Iran, and now we're in it just to not lose. Now we're in it just to save face. Not even about, I don't even think it's really about the nukes no more. Now it's really about just saving face.
So they still have 40% or so, our assessment of their drone capabilities left. And then
90%. Hey, yo. All right, maybe 50% of the world has some type of authoritarian figure or dictator. 50.
Maybe 60% or so of their missile launchers. So they do still have the capability to fire missiles and drones, and that makes them still a dangerous adversary. And as you just noted in your reporting, they're getting help from the Chinese and I would add the Russians as well.
Yeah, well, we know. Yeah, see, we know they're getting satellite help from them, so they're getting intelligence on where bases are and key infrastructures are, but we don't know if they're giving them weapons yet. I know Trump said don't do it, but China, man, they don't care what anybody tells them. They do what they want, sadly. But all right, though, let's get over to Fox News and let's see what they're talking about. Oh, double tap that screen like the video, guys. Appreciate the support.
Brutality of the Iranian regime. On display once again, they executed another young protester.
Meanwhile, President Trump confirms talks to officially end the war have been ongoing by phone, and he's standing firm on his red line.
Madeline Rivera joining us now from Washington with the very latest. Good morning, Madeline.
Hey, Maddie.
Good morning. The human rights activist news agency says death sentences against political prisoners in Iran have intensified.
Yeah, it's about to look really grim in Iran, really grim. So they've already executed about 21 people. 21 people have been executed so far, and 4,000 have been detained for those protests. 4,000. What you think gonna happen to them 4,000 guys? That's all I gotta say. What you think is gonna happen? Because it's about to get real bad.
Intensified since the conflict began on February 28th. And among those who have been put to death.
That's why the IRGC is not the good guys. I hope you guys understand that. That's why it'd be crazy, because there is people who cheerlead for the IRGC. Low-key want them to win. I don't want them to win, but I will honestly report how they're doing. And right now, the IRGC is just as savage as they've ever been, but they're still holding up a pretty good mosaic defense.
A 21-year-old athlete from Isfahan. The agency says Sazan Junakani was executed on Thursday after he was arrested during the protests back in January. The alleged execution comes as the U.S. and Iran struggle to reach a deal. Iran's state news agency says a proposal to end the war was sent to Pakistani negotiators earlier this week, but President Trump calls Iranian negotiators disjointed, indicating there are several factions within the regime that want different things.
Iran wants to make a deal because they have no military left, essentially, and they want to make a deal, but I'm not satisfied with it. We have great respect for Pakistan and Islamabad. They're working with us. They continue to work with us, but the trip is a very long one, and we're doing everything.
Oh, shout out to my man Monty coming in on Rumble. He says China, dictator; Russia, dictator; Iran, dictator; North Korea, dictator. When they condemn something, you can bet your ass it's in our interest to do the opposite. And I mean, look, that's true. That's true. But here's the problem, though. Due to this war, we might actually be handing more influence over to them in the Middle East. And if that's the case, I ain't gonna lie. Then if that's the case, we might as well just, and I know y'all ain't gonna like when I say this, but then we might as well just take over the entire Latin America if that's the case. If we're gonna lose out on the Middle East, and we push them over to Russia and China because of this, because that's actually what's happening, sadly. But if that's the case, we just ruin everything in the Middle East, then, we have no choice but to take over South America and Latin America. And it's not what I want to do, but, the economic future of my people is a little bit more important than, well, y'all sovereignty. I know, it's just fucked up for me to say. I really don't want to have to come to that, but that's what's going to happen if we get kicked out of the Middle East. We'll just find another, countries to kind of own. It is what it is. I hope that don't happen, but that's look like the direction we're going. And here's the problem. Like I said, no, Monty's right. These guys are ruled by dictators. You know what? Maybe we should just let them be one big dictator gang over there on the Eastern Hemisphere. Let them have it. Let them have it. Because right now it's too much for a struggle to hold on to it.
In terms of negotiating right now, in terms of the negotiation,
I'm low-key halfway joking about the taking over Latin America and South America part. I'm like halfway. Like, just think about it.
Telephonically.
Per a Fox News poll last month, about 55% of voters oppose military action in Iran. The president, though, received cheers at the Villages in Florida Friday when he told the crowd Iran can't get its hand on a nuclear weapon.
We're in a war because I think you would agree we can't.
Yeah, sure. Like, your precious country enslaved your ancestors. Yeah, I know. But guess what? Now we're here. And now this country's economic future is tied to my people's economic future. So, I have no choice but to care. Like, why wouldn't I? And why wouldn't I put that above all else? I do love my American people more than any other people. Like, trust me, I love people of the world, but I love my people over all them. And if I got to put my people's interests over the rest of them, over the rest of the other nations' interests, it is what it is. So yes, that's just where my loyalty lies.
Cannot let lunatics have a nuclear weapon. Do you agree?
Whoa.
The president also addressed the cost of gas during his remarks, obviously a huge talking point. The president maintains those high prices will come down when the fighting in the Middle East stops. Charlie, Rachel, and Griff.
All right, Maddie. Thank you very much.
Be sure to.
All right, let's get over to the next video here. And hey, you know, Sky Airline. Well, hold on. So what was it? Spirit Airlines. I think they're out of business now. We were supposed to give them a bailout, but it doesn't look like it happened. So because they're closing down, or maybe that's just the price of jet fuel. Apparently, the price of jet fuel has gotten out of control. I mean, look, man, if you paying damn near $5 a gallon, imagine what they paying in jet fuel.
In State Department spokesman Tommy Pigott. So, you know, as President Trump has pointed out, Tommy, you know, it's been very difficult when you wipe out.
Hey, yo, shout out Noah. He said Monty forgot about the dictatorship of Israel. I mean, goddamn. Well, you know, they do say Israel's the only democracy out there in the Middle East, but, you know, I beg to differ because the way their system works is outrageous. Representation? All right. What about representation for the Palestinians? Is that too much to ask for since y'all a democracy? Like, but, oh, I'm sorry. That's anti-Semitic. I'm sorry, guys.
The entire top level of leadership of Iran in terms of like who you even.
Oh, make sure to double tap that screen like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's keep it going.
Negotiate with, but it does seem like the president has found people to negotiate with. Those negotiations might be a little bit stalled, but at least they're dealing with people. Where are we right now with those negotiations?
Well, look, as the president indicated, we are in a situation where talks are ongoing. We're continuing to engage, but the president is not satisfied with what he has seen. And he has been crystal clear about the objectives here from the beginning of this operation, but also from the beginning of this administration, even before. And that is the reality that the Iranian regime cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. And the decisive outcomes we've seen from Operation Epic Fury have already made the world safer. The fact that we've seen the decimation of their military, the decimation of their navy. But President Trump has been clear he's going to see this objective be fulfilled, that the Iranian regime cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Obviously, the game.
I mean, look, nobody wants the Iranian regime to have a nuclear weapon, but the problem is they were never going towards one. We had never have proof that they was progressing towards one. We're just pretty much psyched out over the fact that they got, what, 6% enrichment that they had since 2021. So if they was going towards that bomb, I'm sorry, but they'd have been did it. And I mean, bro, if they was really wanted it, they'd have did it under Biden while, like I said, he was distracted with Ukraine and Afghanistan. That was the perfect time for Iran to pop off with a nuke. But they didn't because they never wanted to have one. And it was using that 6% as a way to pretty much hedge, or pretty much using it to hedge or use it as a deterrent. So one, America won't attack them and they can get back into the JCPOA to give it up. Now, obviously that did not work, but that was the plan. It didn't work, but still the plan. Hey, shout out Couture Leotard. Hey, appreciate you, sis. Drinks on me for your B-Day. Hey, I shout out. Hey, I appreciate that. I don't do too much drinking, but F it. I'll get a shot. I'll get one shot for today.
Danger here has been his handling of the Strait of Hormuz. Everybody is paying something of a price of having the strait shut down. I would argue that no one is paying a heavier price for that right now than Iran itself. Where are we in terms of negotiating a way to reopen the strait?
Well, 2 points here. First is the fact that as part of Operation Economic Fury, we are seeing the Iranian regime lose hundreds of millions of dollars every single day. This blockade being a part of that, the fact that we've had maximum pressure sanctions to make sure that they cannot have funds to fuel their illicit activities. That has been something that's been going on from the beginning of this administration and continues, including recent announcements from the State Department and Treasury Department this week on that. On the point in terms of the Strait of Hormuz, the Secretary of State describing just a few days ago how we're not going to be in a position where we normalize the Iranian regime thinking that they can decide who goes through the strait. That is not going to happen. The president having that.
I mean, here's the thing, though. It wouldn't have been normalized if we didn't start this war. That's the problem. And that's what Democrats are always going to stick on them about. Is that, you know, if you didn't start this, we wouldn't be dealing with any of this. All of this wouldn't have been a problem. If you actually got into some type of diplomatic relation, get him under a stricter version of the JCPOA, all of this would have never happened. We wouldn't have been dealing with nothing. But now we're over here, you know, trying to economically starve Iran, which we've been doing since last year, and while also economically starving our allies at the same time. I mean, this is not a good position, but I mean, I guess it's the best position that Trump could have, come up with, or I guess the generals.
blockade of Iranian ships and Iranian ports. We're seeing that, but also the president unleashing American energy, building a strong and resilient economy. And we're seeing many tankers actually come to the United States.
And shout out to my man Monty, bro. How's it going?
What's up? I'm not gonna take up too much time, I'm not even gonna talk about Iran right now. I want to address, if you can find it again, that comment. The same country that puts your ancestors in slaves or in chains. Oh man, so the same country that quote unquote put his ancestors in chains is the same country that laid the framework for slavery to be eradicated. You dumb fuck.
Yeah,
The same country that went to war with itself to end slavery. You dumb ass.
Shout out Monty.
No, like it fucking pisses me off when I hear someone, oh, I can't, you're not allowed to have your country's best interests at heart and have an opinion about it, because the same country that you're expressing that opinion in had slavery along with 100% of every other developed country in that time.
I know anything. They always leave out the bad stuff. They always leave out the good stuff. My group of, shout out to the black people in America. African Americans are, well, pretty much the most wealthiest group of black people in the world. We have the highest standard of living in the world. So, there's that bad, but there's also a lot of good.
And not to mention, I made a joke haphazardly about how 90% of the world is a third world country. Our fucking homeless folk live better than 99% of the world. People want to complain about the 1%. This country, this entire country is the 1%. We are at the top of every metric when it comes to standard income, when it comes to happiness, when it comes to all this fucking shit. So when you want to sit here and bitch about something that happened 200 fucking years ago and ended 150 something fucking years ago, cry me a fucking river. If you don't like it, go to Africa and see how they treat your ass.
Meanwhile, I'm over here in my backyard making napalm.
I'm done.
But anyway, yeah, I do want to come on and give a shout out to S.E.T because he was right. I like to have my stuff on record. But yeah, the U.S. bases were damaged. I was thinking that they stopped bombing immediately after the initial outset. So that's where I was getting my information from. But no, they kept bombing. Now, a lot of what it looks like they hit wasn't necessarily... this is based off of Fifth Fleet's own assessments. A lot of what they hit wasn't actually like jets and everything. It was to blind our satellite tracking capability.
Yep.
So, but yeah, S.E.T was right. The sources that he was looking at was saying the right stuff. We did get pretty tore up in the outset. It seems like they basically mutilated our capabilities to see, and then struck immediately after that.
Yeah, with a bunch of drones. And that's why when U.S. intelligence came out with their assessment, they harped on the drones really heavily because they were like, bro, these drones fucked up our radar. Like, we need to take care of this.
Yeah, that's what I was reading too. It was like, even from Fifth Fleet, they were like, nah, the drones was really what's doing the work, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you're always going to have... Yeah, we're always going to have an asymmetric fucking fight against us anytime we fucking make war. So I like this yes, while it's expensive and it damaged a whole bunch of bases, what they're leaving out is that right after the initial service members died, they fucking got their shit together, moved people out of the bases. So the casualty, you can sit here and talk about the debt and all that fun stuff, and that's a separate criticism. But money can be replaced, lives can't. And when we start doing infrastructure tallies, Iran is lopsided. When we start doing loss of life tallies, Iran is lopsided. When you actually assess who has the control, I mean, a toddler can scream and shout while they're in the corner in timeout. That doesn't mean the toddler is winning.
I hear you on that one. I think the problem is the escalation control that Iran has on this.
Yeah, they absolutely, like, anybody that thought that a protracted fucking military engagement was just going to go off seamlessly and flawlessly and be a fucking board wipe, and we were just going to get the
Yeah,
fucking
President
nukes.
Trump was wrong on that.
Yeah, like I don't sit here and judge a country's winningness or losingness. Like you can do the same thing in Ukraine, right? Well, like we've been guilty of this. We point to Ukraine and say, "Oh, Russia's not making any advances. Russia's not doing this. Russia's taken half the fucking country."
Bro.
It's just like,
and I want to get back to what freaking Monty was saying. Look, bro, I'm so sick of the whole. I'm not. I came in like at the tail end, but I heard like some BS regarding the like how people live over here in the U.S. That's why I answered on with, bro, I'm in my backyard making fucking napalm right now.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do this shit in other countries.
No, what I was saying, someone had said, because S.E.T is obviously fucking patriotic and actually cares about what the fuck is going on in the country. Like, I mean, we disagree on fucking 90% of this issue, but 99% of other issues we agree on. So he makes a comment about how he cares about his country, and some fucking black fatigued fucking probably got pronouns in their fucking bio libtard comes in and says, "Oh, the same country that put your people in chains? Oh my god!"
Bro, I'm so sick of hearing that, dude. You want to know how many black folks are sick of hearing like the white man this, the white man that? Like, bro, shut the fuck up, bro.
It's
At
like,
some point, take
literally.
your damn lumps.
And here's the thing, though. I mean, will y'all ever take that like to a black military soldier to just risk getting punched in the face over that? Like, please take that to them, because I really do have an intense loyalty towards this country, just like I would hope any other American do. That's why when I speak, I try to speak for all the American people. I try to get all the numbers for how everybody's doing. Why? Because I actually care about how my people are doing.
Exactly. Like the disagreements you and I have are literally coming from the same exact place. That's why I don't take too much fucking solace in you just being wrong about this war. But like when someone else says it and they don't have those same intents, they actually hate this country, that's when I fucking lay into them, because it's fucking ridiculous, and I'm tired of the same country that you mean the same country that effectively ended slavery in the modern world.
Only one, by the way.
Yeah. Like get over yourself. Maybe take a trip around the world once or twice. Maybe you should have paid attention in 5th grade fucking world history.
But all right, hold on, guys, hold on. But shout out to my man Tom Brewery, says Lego AI propaganda, bro. Come on, it's a no-brainer. I mean, that, bro, I ain't gonna lie. The Lego videos.
The Lego video was funny. Okay, it was funny. It's propaganda, but it was funny.
It was good propaganda. It was funny.
It's like, bro, they're cooking us on that one. It's just like, how the hell are we losing to the propaganda war to Lego videos? But
because that's what Americans want to see. Like, hold on. Propaganda is gonna fly. It's going to fly on both sides, like on our side and on their side. Propaganda, while I put a low weight, like low value to effectiveness on it, it does influence people. But if you're so gullible that you're influenced by a fucking Lego video, then you're dumb. You don't deserve a seat at the table when we're having conversations.
I'll be real with you. The only thing the Lego video really made me wonder was, I was like, first off, how the hell y'all know so well? Who taught y'all about rap culture this well? Why y'all coming out with all these rap videos?
S.E.T. It is the 5th plane of battle. The information warfare plane of battle is what people have been using when they're disadvantaged in military conflicts. China's been doing it. Russia's been doing it. Iran is doing it. Like that is how you know we are the big dick in the fucking porn star room. That's how you know.
Okay, buddy.
But like when they start lobbing fucking Lego videos at you and you're lobbing tomahawks at them, I'm sorry.
It's like, hey, I feel you. But all right, let's go ahead and get back into it.
Hey guys, if you want to know how to make napalm,
it's It's just diesel and styrofoam. Don't
Actually,
let
it's any type of ethanol-based liquid and styrofoam. So
Now, just making sure what. No, I'm not even gonna ask that question.
It's legal to make.
It's
No,
legal.
I was just wondering why was he making it, but you know what? I don't even.
Maybe he has some weeds to take care of.
Nah, I can't get a fire started, and I don't feel like using lighter fluid.
So napalm is what you go to?
Yes.
Like, yo,
I need this fire to stay lit.
that is probably the most country shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, I need this fire. Hey, you could benefit a little bit from going out in the country a little while, Set. You need to get out of that big city.
Honestly, no, you're right. Wait, hold on. I kind of do live somewhat near country.
You live in the middle of Columbus, Ohio.
Right. Quiet down.
That's true.
Bro,
But
you
20
got
minutes out, I can see some farmland.
Hold on,
Those
Set.
are thickets.
You got white people money now. You need to move your ass out into a 100-acre fucking plot.
You need to get you a white girl. You need to do what Kanye West said.
We can start dating a Kardashian, and then 10 years later, I have nothing but bad luck. Hey, the Kardashian curse is real.
Bro, people be trying to. Ooh, there's this one guy I want you guys to watch when you get a chance. It's called Chad Jackson.
But all right, guys.
Hold on,
His name is Chad Jackson, and he goes over a lot of stuff on why the civil rights movement actually went down and stuff that they don't tell you. I encourage you to watch it. It's actually pretty good. And yes, he's a black man for those who it matters to.
On a separate note, if you guys really want to watch something fucking provocative, watch For All Mankind. It's about the U.S. space race. If Russia would have got to the moon first, like what would have happened? It's good. I've only watched like season 1 of it, and there's like 5 seasons of it, but it's really, really good. It's all hypothetical, but it's good to think about.
Well, Monty. First off, do you believe that we went around the moon?
Hell yeah.
Yes, we went. Yeah, we went around the moon.
Good.
Okay, hold on. I want to address that because I was a little broke when you were making those audacious comments about us not going to the moon, and I was like, damn it, I wish I could fucking say something to this guy right now. The mission was defined to go around the moon. It was not defined to land on the moon. You were like, oh, I thought we were landing on the moon.
I didn't know that. All right, my bad then.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a recon mission. I literally thought we was just being scary about like, let's go around it instead of landing on it. Like,
no,
what?
so this is Artemis 2, right? Yeah. Artemis 1 was an unmanned fucking capsule that went around the moon. Artemis 2 goes around the moon again, and then Artemis 3 is supposed to land on, or I think Artemis 3 is actually supposed to go around the moon again.
I heard Artemis 3 is actually supposed to land. I was hearing them talk about it. They said in like 2028.
Yeah. So like, and I can't get into any fucking super details about fucking what we're doing, but like we're going to the fucking moon, my guy. And not only are we going to the moon, we're putting a fucking base on the moon.
Hey, let's go. I actually like it.
Like and I'm telling you, if you could see the things that I see every day, holy shit. Like I was a little skeptical. I was like, how are we gonna do this? I know how we're gonna do it now.
All right, let's go.
Shout outs to napalm, war crimes.
But all right, guys,
burning good, burning strong.
All right, guys, let's get into Jesse Waters. Let's see what he's talking about.
Fox News alert, the commander-in-chief's just been presented military options that would knock the snot out of the enemy.
Do we want to go and just blast the hell out of them and finish him forever, or do we want to try and make a deal? I mean, those are the options.
We should make a deal.
Go blast the hell out of them. I prefer not. Forever? On a human basis, I prefer not, but that's the option.
Yesterday, the president spent the afternoon consulting his top national security team in the Situation Room. Vance, Rubio, Hegseth, and the CIA director all there. As CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper and General Raisin Kane briefed them on strike packages for one final blow. The session lasted 45 minutes. He was reportedly presented with strike options on infrastructure, a ground assault on the Strait, and an uranium extraction. But the commander-in-chief keeping his cards close to his vest.
No.
That is a lot. I'm like, uranium extraction is crazy.
I mean, if we can do it in a spec ops fucking way, you're gonna have to have some SMEs that fucking know how to handle I don't like
Then
that.
we're gonna have to have
I'm telling
constant
y'all.
air superiority over an area for an entire, like maybe like an hour, maybe less than that, because we are operational.
No, I'm telling y'all that's gonna go south.
Yeah, I'm thinking it too.
If we
I don't like that. I mean,
if we have to do uranium extraction, that's gonna result in a full blown war.
That's gonna be a fucking Black Hawk Down moment, and I don't want to.
Beyond that, it's gonna be worse than Benghazi.
Jesus. All right, let's get into it.
I hope they don't do that.
The war just hit day 60, and the press is telling the president, time's up.
Mr. President, it's day 60. Are you going to seek congressional authorization for?
Well, no other country has ever done it. It's never been, as you know, most people consider it totally unconstitutional. Also, we had a ceasefire, so that gives you additional time. But no other country's done it. We're in the midst of a big victory. This is a victory like we haven't had since Venezuela.
Trump sent a letter to Congress today telling them no need for an extension. The ceasefire's already terminated the war. Hegseth and General
That's
Kane
true.
spent all
I want to
week
address
on the
that.
Hill testifying and
So active combat is what is defined in the War Powers Act. A blockade, while an act of war, is not active combat. And a ceasefire does, he's right about that, but he's right on a technicality.
I mean, it is. I'll be real with you. Playing with the legality of what's a ceasefire is kind of funny because that's what we need to play with right now. Because Hegseth said in his hearing, "Look, we had a ceasefire. That's a pause." So
It is. It's a pause in military action. Like it does not say that we can't conduct military action. What it says is you cannot have fucking essentially bombs dropping on a country.
Okay.
And we haven't had bombs dropping on a country since the 7th. Like we are dialing things down. We're literally just waiting them out now. Like if you notice, the airstrikes have stopped. All of the fucking tomahawks have stopped. Everything has stopped except for a blockade. Which I mean, if you want this war to end, this is what it looks like ending. A blockade, and like so.
Stalemate.
The way I see it, it's not a stalemate. The way I see it is this war ended on the 7th, and we're just waiting for Iran to admit it.
All right. I mean, hopefully, look. I mean, Iran admitting it would be what, like complete surrender, them releasing the Strait of Hormuz. Like,
I don't think they're going to completely surrender. I think we're going to take something on the chin for this. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's going to be the Strait because that's too much of a hot button issue for Trump to lose. So I don't think it's going to be the Strait. I think it's going to be something around Iran's fucking foothold on the world. I think Iran's going to get a seat at the table a little bit more than they've had. I think some of the sanctions are going to be released on Iran, but it's only going to happen if they let the Strait go back to the way it was. So in a way, the diplomacy that you want is going to happen just in a roundabout fucking way.
Oh,
they're basically going to save face.
Because
Iran's going to save face and be like, because remember, Iran just wants to tell its people we won so they can keep their fucking regime in control. That's why we said it's not about regime change.
Yeah, true. Because look, but then again, a lot of people are going to see it. Well, I don't know. We're probably not going to see this as a loss. But if we walk away and Iran still got their enriched uranium, they still have their regime. They still have
let me say this from a military standpoint. A lot of people from around the world are going to take every opportunity to see anything that the U.S. does other than outright war and total domination as a loss.
Yes.
People don't even realize that we didn't even lose Vietnam.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. Unless we completely fucking wipe the board with somebody, we have quote unquote lost a war. But you apply, and the only reason we apply that fucking thing to ourselves is because that's what we normally do. We normally just go into a place and fucking wipe it out. But we also normally fucking fight in third world shitholes. We don't fight countries like Iran. We don't fight countries like Russia or China. We're fighting all three right now.
Yeah, that's true. But and look, here's the problem though about this whole. I would say, oh well, if we don't completely decimate them, that like everybody's viewing us as, oh, if we don't completely decimate them, we're losing. Nah, I think people are kind of seeing this as like, look, you guys talk about nuclear enrichment and all this good stuff. If Iran still got that capability, what was this all for?
They don't have the capability. Okay, all right. When you destroy the thing that makes the thing, like think of it from a production mindset. If tomorrow Iran comes and blows up all of our fucking solar manufacturing things, and now I can no longer produce fucking satellites, they've destroyed our production capability. They haven't destroyed my knowledge of how to do it. They've destroyed my capability to do so. We haven't destroyed their uranium because you can't destroy a fucking element. That's the law of conservation of energy. You you can't destroy matter.
That's
But
racist.
but you can destroy their ability to make more of it. You can destroy their infrastructure that makes missiles. You can destroy their infrastructure that makes drone boats. You can destroy their capability to put those drone boats out in the ocean.
And
If
that's
you
the problem there, though. So if we leave and they still have that capability, then what?
Is going in my room.
all of that is done already. We've already fucking fucked their manufacturing. We've already destroyed their
No, I don't think so. They still got
Yeah.
all these underground bases. They still have
The underground bases are blocked by 10 tons of rubble in front of them.
Nah, not the ones in the mountains. Those are still good.
No, we destroyed those in fucking last year.
Nah, bro, the intelligence reports is actually still reporting that they still have the capability to make drones and missiles underground.
Okay.
Like, the only way to take care of that would be
Capability
to
is not
go
the same as opportunity set.
They can still do it.
That's not the same as opportunity.
Hold on. Like that's
Bro,
like
they
saying
still have their bases inside the effing mountain. The mountain's like an 8-layer. They have 8-layer bases inside of a mountain that we have.
So
not
do
taken
we.
care
I
of.
mean,
and when the fucking entrance to that mountain doesn't allow people through it, their capability, they are capable of removing that dirt and that rubble and doing that again. That is where that term capability comes from. But unless they take specific actions to go
Hello?
and do that,
Monty?
they what? Hello?
I guess bro sound went out, but
yeah.
No, I'm hearing you on the capability, but like I said, it does still seem like look. And here's the thing: we don't know because the wars. Well, it's under a ceasefire. But like I said, according to our own intelligence, these guys still have plenty of
Can you hear me?
drones to fire off. So if that's the case, and we walk away with that still being the case, I could see why people would think we lost this.
Hello.
I guess you guys sound went out. Wait, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear both of you fine.
All right. I think it's just Monty then. Monty, I think the sound might have went out. But
can you hear me?
No.
Why are you saying no when I'm asking you a question if you can't hear me? I can hear you guys just fine. You interrupted me to say I couldn't hear you. What the hell?
All right.
Just rage baiting a little bit.
What the fuck? No.
I'm weak. But
so you guys can hear me the whole fucking time.
No, but here this is gonna be the problem though. If these guys still got this missile capability, they still got the Strait of Hormuz under their control, people are gonna see this as a loss. And right now, none of that has been resolved. So
the same people that poo-poo everything
as a loss.
Hold on, the same. I'm not gonna put any fucking capital in the same people that are gonna poo-poo fucking everything Trump does. Like, stop fucking taking them into consideration. They are never Trumpers. They don't care. They want the president to fail. They don't even acknowledge him as their president. So I'm not gonna put a whole lot of fucking political capital on the same people that keep losing fucking elections because they can't figure out how to put somebody that can run up against Trump. So
Look, here's the thing. I wish that was the case, but this is coming from both sides.
What side? Who is saying this on the right?
Well, I'm gonna be real with you. I guess you wouldn't consider Tucker Carlson on the right no more.
Tucker Carlson. Okay.
I know. He's an Iranian agent. Okay. I get
No, he's not an Iranian agent that I know of. But when you group yourself into the same group of Republicans that fucking always, every time they lose an election, they're like, well, maybe we should be more like the Democrats. I
don't know. Come on. I think that the whole anti-war position is now being looked at as a liberal position when
it is a liberal position.
No,
it is a
it's
liberal
the common
position.
sense position because it doesn't help us.
Every war we've ever been in has helped us in one way or the other.
Come on now. Maybe World War II, sure, but after that, bro, the return just has not been worth it.
The Korean War actually did help us.
So did Vietnam. It didn't help us politically.
Now,
Politically
I don't
is
know
what
about that one. That's debatable, but all right.
it stopped the spread of communism. That was the goal of the Vietnam War. Vietnam is not communist.
But they are.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. But all right. Let's get back. To
Iran is not going to have a nuclear weapon. That is the stated goal of this fucking war. Iran's not going to have a nuclear weapon. Fucking Russia and China are not going to have the foothold that they fucking have continued to enjoy in. Not to mention, here's the thing, Seth, right? So we get to fight China and Russia without fighting China and Russia in Iran. Because everything that they're saying, it just tells me more about what the real plan is. We get to see how effective we would be against Chinese equipment. We get to see how effective we would be against Russian equipment. We've already established we'll fucking wipe the floor with them. We'll conduct 4,000 bombing raids and one plane will get shot down. I'll take those odds.
All right. Let's get back to it. Shout out you guys, man. Appreciate y'all for coming up.
Briefing senators behind closed doors. Of course, Dickie B's already leaking.
I do have the impression from some of the briefings that I have received, as well as other sources, that an imminent military strike is very much on the table, which is deeply disturbing.
What about classified? Does Dick Blumenthal not understand? Anyway, the firepower we have in the region isn't a secret. After a 3-week timeout, CENTCOM now has twice the amount of combat power that it did at the start of the war. We have 3 carriers in theater, all assets in pre-strike position. Our sailors aboard the USS John Finn, a guided missile destroyer, have been conducting live fire exercises in the Indian Ocean. They're ready and lethal. Now the Super Stallion is in the region. It's one of the largest and heaviest lift choppers.
Man, I forgot to read my man Noah's super chat. My bad, man. He said, hopefully it's charging BB with war crimes. What, man, look, if that is ever within the cards of somebody charging BB with war crimes, too late. He already has. But like I said, though, F international law. And that works out for Israel because they have our backing. Trust me, if Israel didn't have the United States backing, I do think Netanyahu would probably be in jail by now.
Absolutely. So that proves my point that I said earlier. We're the ones that enforce international law. What we say is what goes. Fuck international law. Fuck the commie fucking Democrats that would like to see America fail by way of communism, by way of socialism, by way of this fucking kumbaya globalism that doesn't fucking exist. It's like have you seen those fucking TikToks of the red button versus the blue button?
Wait, no, I have not.
So it's a moral dilemma. So I'll lay it out for you, and I'll give it to gaming as well. It's actually a thought exercise. So there's 2 buttons in front of you, a red button and a blue button. If 50% of the world, everybody is in this at the same time, we can't talk about it, nothing. Everybody in the world is given the option between a red button and a blue button. The blue button, if 50% or more of the world presses it, everybody lives. But if they don't get to 50% and more than 50% press the red button, everybody who pressed the blue button dies. Which button are you pressing?
Well, damn. So if I press the blue button and majority of the world press the blue button, we're all good. But the red button gets pressed and majority of the people press the red button, or if I press the red button and the people in the blue get killed.
Yes. So if
that's a more relevant dilemma.
I'll take the blue button.
You're going to take the blue button. I'm hitting the red button. You have a 100% chance of living if you press the red button.
Yeah, but I don't like nobody's death beat on my conscience. So
if everybody presses the red button, nobody dies.
Well, how do we know? You said nobody's going to be in there.
Everybody is given the option at the same time. Your odds are you hope that the entire world, 4 billion people, half of the world, presses the same button, has that same sentiment. If everybody presses the red button, nobody dies.
Yeah, it's true, but that's a bet though. And I mean, all right, I hear you. Nah, I get the thought exercise though.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to it. Oh, well, and shout out to my man Sid. What's going on, bro?
God damn it,
Yo,
Sid.
I just wanted to talk to Monty about this red button, blue button thing. You'd seriously pick the red button?
Absolutely, I'd pick the fucking red button. Absolutely.
Okay, dude, think for 1 second. This is everybody in the world.
Yep.
That includes dumb children that are probably just going to press whatever random button. By the way,
no. The thought exercise is anybody that's capable of making an informed decision. So no.
No, it's everybody. It just says everybody. The ones I've seen. But
I mean, the ones that I say.
And by the way, you have to press the blue button because you're going to live in a world if what is it? Less than half the people press the button, with only the least empathetic, like most deranged people on the planet. Not everybody.
The least empathetic. So you're making this. You're doing exactly what the thought exercise is designed to make you do. You're making an issue out of nothing.
No, it's not nothing.
You'd push the blue button, then you would die. You would
die. It's just the
prisoner's
dilemma scaled up. And
you would die.
By the way, yeah, maybe not. What if more people press the blue button? And then, what do you look like as someone that pressed the red button?
I look like someone that's still alive.
And so does everybody else, if more people press the blue button.
But they're not going to.
I don't know about that.
I promise you they're not going to. Self-preservation is
they're not going to because it's not ever going to happen. But who knows what would happen? It's kind of hard to know.
Yeah,
like,
explain it again. Explain it again.
All right. So there's two buttons. There are two buttons: a red button and a blue button. In order for the blue button to work, more than 50% of the whole world, excluding children that can't make decisions, would die. Or like if it doesn't get to 50.1%, everybody that pushes the blue button dies. If you push the red button, you live. No matter what, you're alive.
All right. And all right, shout out to Jay. He's like, what Thanos rabbit hole did we just go down? Goddamn. Like, yep.
So wait, you can't. You said the children that don't get to press the button are part of the people that die. You're just
the people that don't red herring the fucking argument. Stop trying to confuse people.
I'm asking.
They're not involved in the decision. Period. They don't live or die. They just fucking exist.
So they don't die. So let's say that not over 50% press the blue button. So that means that half the population dies, or almost half the population dies, but all their kids live. And what, you're just like,
you're not going to
take care of them?
me.
All the people that press the red button that don't care about other people?
This is literally what the experiment is designed to draw out, is people like you that want to high road a conversation and make an issue where there isn't.
No, it's designed to draw out all the people that are super into device signaling, that sound edgy, and want to say they press the red button. I mean, you press the blue button. You have to think about people when you're thinking about half the population dying. Why are you saying
it's not half the population? It's not. We haven't addressed.
People would press the blue button. You know,
and
you
if they do, they're dumb.
The button.
If they do, they're dumb.
You said people to all press the red button.
Yes,
I've seen most people say that. I've seen so many different polls with people saying that over 50% saying they'd press the blue button. So we already know that.
Then guess what? If over 50%, if over 50% press the blue button, I have not risked anything.
Except, what about this? What if everybody knew that you pressed the red button?
Why are you putting hypotheticals in a fucking situation that's not hypothetical?
Because the whole thing is a hypothetical.
Yeah. So what? You're telling me that I
can add to the hypothetical all this. Wait, no, I can add
you're adding to a hypothetical to try to high road a situation that doesn't exist.
No, it tests the same. It tests the same theory. What if everyone knew which button you pressed? Would that change your decision?
It's almost like it doesn't fucking matter because I'm still alive. No, it wouldn't change my decision.
Yeah, but
the hypothetical literally says that no one knows what button you press.
I said, what if everybody knew what button you pressed?
What if doesn't fucking matter in this situation. Keep it to one
This
thing.
whole thing is a what if, Monty. This whole thing is a what if.
All right.
And you're trying to high road it. You're doing exactly what it's designed to do. But if we could all come together, fuck all coming together. Either you live or you die. I'm gonna choose living. You have an option. If you choose blue, you're choosing to die.
Dude, you would experience. So let's, if not everybody, if less than 50% press the blue button, you would live in, let's say like 48% press it. 48% of the world population going away would be hell on earth for everybody else that's left alive.
So why should I be a part of that 48%?
Because you could be part of that 48%, or you could die after the entire civilization collapses because 48% of the population just died.
But you don't know.
You can pick which way you want to die. Really, I mean, maybe Monty, you could like rough it out, and you could just be like this rugged man that takes care of everybody around you and stuff.
It's a simple question. Do you choose to live, or do you choose to put your life in other people's hands?
No, it's not that. It's not that simple.
I am
These
not
things that I'm talking about are a reality that would happen if this were to ever happen. So
if half the fucking population died because they had a choice to live or die and they chose die, then that's fucking dumb.
Well,
they're the worst of the people.
It's not them choosing to die. Yeah.
But
you have a sure thing. You are going to live. If everybody presses the red button, no one dies.
But the way it's phrased, though, I wouldn't see why people wouldn't press the blue button, because then you're just like, all right, we all press the blue button, everybody good. So
you have to get the entire world.
The red button is kind of like it kind of got down with the idea of a group of people dying. That's why I couldn't do it.
Why you convince other people to press the red button?
I mean, well, you say we can't reach out.
You can't talk to people.
Like I would just have to press the blue button because I'd just be like, well, I can't have people's death on my conscience, so I'm just gonna press the blue button and hope everybody works it out.
You're gonna hope. Hope is not a plan. Hope is the absence of a plan.
I mean, I'm be real with you. That is kind of the only thing I can do given the situation. If hopefully that most people come to the same moral high ground that I do. That look, if you don't
you want to high road people.
Press blue. If you are okay
I think
with
the
that,
red button.
You're press red.
If you don't think about this thought experiment at all, the red button is immediately what you would think to press. That's what most people would press. But if you think about it beyond just the basic question and what the implications would be, the blue button is the obvious choice, Monty.
Why is it the obvious choice? You're obviously going to die.
That's not obvious.
It's not obvious. It's kind of a coin flip, really.
Yeah.
No, it's not a coin flip. You're saying that you have to convince 4 billion people.
No, you don't have to convince because we can't talk to people.
If I'm able to convince them, then it's gonna my odds are even better. Everybody just press the blue button. We're all good, and nobody gotta die. Nobody's death got to be in your conscience because you chose red. Easy.
Yeah, if we can convince people, there's no point in pressing the red button. If we're all able to coordinate.
And what happens when fucking people press the blue button and then they die? You have now convinced. Hold on, shut the fuck up. You have now convinced more people to die for your idealistic goals.
But no, my idealistic goals is not half the population dying.
Honestly, in that scenario, given the religious nature of this world, I think most people would die just to avoid the death of other people on their mind.
It's not you causing anybody's death.
I mean, it is. If I press that red, you're saying that, that would basically cause the death of the blue.
No, you're not causing the death of the blue. You are one person amongst 8 billion.
Yeah, it's like voting. Every vote, when you vote as a block, they count. When you vote as an individual, maybe it doesn't, but you'd still have it on your conscience if like 49% of the world's population died because 51% decided to press the red button.
Why wouldn't everybody press the red button? Survive.
Because they because it's already baked in that people are going to press the blue button. It's just
not
baked in.
It's literally not baked in. It's literally not baked in.
Dude,
the only people
two out of the three of us said we'd press it.
Then
on this panel. So yes, it is.
Why you're choosing that because you fucking have an idealistic fucking view of the world. You would die if you were actually faced with this problem. If someone actually put you in a room and said you can either live or you can try not to die, you're going to pick live. You're going to.
Yeah, that's a totally different thought experiment
That is the thought
revolves
experiment. You
around
have
you.
to put yourself in
That
that
only
position.
revolves around you. Dude, somehow, here's how crazy this is. Somehow, even fucking Asmongold said he'd press the blue button. And that guy hates society. So I'd hope he'd want 50% of the population to die, or you'd think he'd want 50% of the population to die. But even he said he'd press the blue button. So it's obviously baked in that a certain percentage of people are going to press the blue button. So more people have to press it, so less people die.
Hold on, Seth, can you look up the red button versus blue button? Fucking.
No, you explained it fine, dude. There's no confusion about the thought experiment.
But all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick comedic interlude, real quick. This has a little bit of fun while I go, set some things up. Because I ain't gonna lie, you guys threw me for a loop there. Now I'm over here thinking about stuff. But in the meantime, enjoy the comedic interlude, guys.
Shocking news tonight. According to a new survey, 60% of Americans are now antiseptic.
That's right. And now the fake Semites are saying,
It's not their fault.
of course.
Chloe and Michael, good morning. We're here with Rabbi Foreskins, who has an interesting method for circumcision.
It's just Mets eats a beeper. Stop noticing.
That's basically where they take a and suck on its
Talmud says it's chill, though. Wow, thanks, Ching Chong. You heard that, folks? Don't go looking up that unless you're ready to learn how it transmits HIV. That would be so antiseptic. But we go live to Tom, where our favorite pizza baking competition takes place in the Goy Center. Tom, take it away.
That's right, John. We're here at the Pizza Cost. What's it take to win this?
We need to bake 271,000 to win.
I thought it was 6 million.
Nah, that would be impossible.
How are you enjoying the Pizza Cost? Out of the 109 countries out here, Germany's the one struggling the hardest. They don't even have a chimney.
That sounds a bit antiseptic.
Hope that doesn't get us canceled.
Well, Producer Berg does love his pizza and grape soda.
Shut it down. Fine, over 80% of the Epstein list was and 0% of the victims were, but that doesn't mean we aren't victims. My grandparents were in the Pizza Cost.
Jeez, Producer Berg, chill.
He's so cute when he shuts it down. Anyway.
Did you see that fat congressman tampering with the votes?
Yep, show the normies.
So here's what a crime on tape looks like.
But he's chosen.
So noticing is antiseptic.
Shouldn't he be in jail? Yeah.
Absolutely. Throw him in jail. Seriously. Dan, break it down for us.
Somebody, needs to stop this guy. I mean, he is just, to me, I feel like he's a terrorist. I think he should be hanged for treason.
Shut it the heck down, Dan. You think you can just waltz your way into Congress because of your big muscles and antiseptic rhetoric? We'll genocide you like the Armenian you are.
Just because you stupid goyim know.
Okay, and let's go ahead and get back to the serious topic here. Well, all right.
In our arsenal. Here it is preparing to land on the U.S. Tripoli. General Jack Keane says it's time to finish the job.
I think option one is return and finish what we started. We spent 3 weeks here trying to work something out with these guys. Let's go finish that once and for all. Complete that mission that we've given to them. And we can go through a list of targets, but there's leadership targets out there. There's ballistic missiles out there. Right. There's a remnants of the nuclear program that's out there. There's drone storage that's out there and energy infrastructure, etc. There's plenty of targets that we have assigned that we want to finish.
Iran's starting to buckle under the blockade. They just sent us a new peace proposal. Before, they said they wouldn't talk as long as the blockade remained. Now, they definitely want to talk and said they're willing to talk Monday. They also want Trump to tone down his rhetoric. Trump's threats are driving him crazy, and they can't tell what's going to happen next. And they want to talk about opening up the strait now. And then they'll talk about the nukes if we drop sanctions and the blockade.
Yeah.
But it's still signed.
I mean, that's fair. I'm okay with that. I mean, what? Open up the strait, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the nuclear deal later. And then, we'll give you back some, what was it? Give you back billions of dollars of unfrozen funds, and you guys hand over your nuclear capabilities. I mean, that's not too bad. I'm not mad at that. I know some of you guys will be mad at that because like it's just like Obama. But get over yourself. Get over yourself. All right. You want to take care of the nuclear situation or not? Okay, then stop crying. All right. Yo, what's going on, Monty?
Yo, I play that video I just put in the fucking chat.
All right, I got you.
It's kind of like your typical Iranian haggling. The president says no deal.
If this were a fight, they'd stop it. You know that expression? It's true. But they're not coming through with the kind of deal that we have to have, and we're going to get this thing done properly. We're not going to leave early and then have the problem arise in 3 more years.
The Iranians, as squirrely as they are still signaling that a deal is possible. And this just in, Trump just gave Kushner and Witkoff another weapon. Nick Stewart from the Foundation for Defense of Democracies has just been added to the negotiating team.
All right, I got it for you, Monty. Let me go ahead and pull it up right here.
Discourse has been annoying me because the question is designed to piss people off. So how it usually goes is something like everyone on Earth has to take a private vote by pressing a red or blue button. If more than 50% of people press the blue button, everyone survives. If less than 50% of people press the blue button, only people who press the red button survive. Which button would you press? Be honest. That's generally how the question goes. There's some variations, but that's the whole thing. Now, it's written in such a way for both sides to be the obviously correct answer. Well, red is obviously the correct answer because if you pick red, there's no risk. If you pick red, you just live. There's no chance of dying. It's not even the prisoner's dilemma. You just win every single time. If you pick the blue option, obviously that's the correct answer because the reality is not everyone will pick red. So you're going to possibly condemn people that vote blue just to die. So therefore, everyone should come together and vote blue just to make sure those people don't get to die as well. So you can have it seem super logical that both things are the correct answer. Let's just set the record straight. If you pick blue in this scenario, you will die. 100% chance you're going to die. Every time a poll is posted with this specific dilemma, blue usually ends up winning. So you think, oh, well, blue is consistently winning. That means the goodness of humanity will come in and make people vote blue all the time. But the thing is, blue is always winning by not very much, by like 5 or 6%. It's a pretty small margin of error. Now, if you actually take this off the internet and put it into the real world and you stick a fucking desert eagle in someone's face and say, if you vote blue and it's not 51% other people voting blue too, I will shoot you in the fucking head right now and you will instantly die.
Oh, that's a lot of stipulations.
People are going to vote red. Suddenly
that is the dilemma.
For blue, it's going to go to the other side.
Nah.
No, it's not.
You have to add some extra on top of there to make it like,
Yes, because he has to fucking point out that you're actually risking.
That's gun to your head.
That's what happens. How do you think 50% of the people die?
They just die automatically. They just die. That's all it says.
He just went from saying, you know what, most everybody's gonna vote blue, but in this crazy scenario, then everybody would probably vote red. It's like, hold on, bro, you have to have your own scenario on top of a scenario.
He changed the scenario from what it is to
shut up.
You hold on. He changed the scenario from what it is to here's this. You're in a room and there's a guy with a desert eagle that says, if you press the blue button, I'm shooting you. That's not
what he said. That's not what he said.
He literally
said if 50% of the people don't pick it, I'm shooting you. That is you dying. These polls that fucking run around, you don't have the dilemma actually in your face. It's, are you going to pick blue or are you going to pick red? Well, you're going to be the fucking asshole that says, I'm going to pick red.
I mean, you have no scruples about it. Like, people do say it.
Yeah,
it's all the people that like to vice signal the most.
People like to high road. They don't.
It's all the people that like to vice signal the most and don't like to think about it.
2 seconds. Can you shut up?
No, you're just gonna yell at me that I'm high roaded, dude. Like, we can have the conversation or we can't. But like, I can just say that you're vice signaling. You can say I'm high roading, and we could go nowhere.
It's not a conversation if we're both talking. You're just talking over me.
But all right, go ahead, Monty.
God damn. If this is the scenario, because it's not the scenario when you just run a blind poll up on the internet when there's actually no risk to anybody. When there's no risk to anybody, yeah, sure. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pick blue because I'm fucking superior to everybody. Yeah, when the shit actually hits the fan and you have a choice, are you going to fucking pick red or are you going to pick blue? And if you pick blue and it doesn't get to 50%, you're dying. People are going to pick red.
I don't think
some people will. A lot of people are going to pick blue.
It's just empathetic to pick blue.
Well, so fuck empathy. Empathy is what fucking kills us as a fucking society.
I mean, empathy is also what makes us a great society as well. If we don't have that, then it's the survival
Sympathy
of
is
the
what makes us a great society.
Nah, you gotta
Empathy
have
is what makes
empathy as
people
well
make
and be able to
decisions like that
empathize
and
with
die.
people, or you're just gonna be just as ruthless as the dictators you're talking
It's not ruthless. You're choosing to live.
Or you can choose to not be the cause for somebody's death and choose blue.
So and become the cause of your own death. Congratulations.
I mean, that's not certain because even in the
It
polls
is
he was showing,
certain.
mostly everybody chose blue. And even in his argument was a bit
Set,
weak when he
set,
said within
set.
a 1%, 2%. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, but most of the world is most likely going to choose blue if you just hit them with the but nobody dies. Oh, okay, great.
Exactly. Nobody's going to die in this scenario. It is an ego contest of people that want to fucking virtue signal. That's all it is.
I don't know. I don't think it's that. I think it's a bit more.
Hey,
deeper.
Monty.
I think it's honestly
Monty.
just those who are sympathetic and have empathy, and those who kind of just care about themselves.
In that case, what does me pressing red do? Nothing.
Monty,
in that case,
if everybody in the world presses red, if everyone in the world,
you're breaking up, Sid.
Yeah, you are.
Can't he just want the reason he's so gung-ho about blue is because blue is the color of the Democrats and red is the color of the Republicans, and he can't be caught fucking saying red.
oh, come on, dude. That's so ridiculous. If everyone in the world chooses red, everybody lives, right?
Yes.
Right, Monty?
Yes. Yep. Not only does everybody live.
If everybody in the world chooses blue, everybody lives,
you're
right?
trying to compare it. You're trying to compare apples to oranges. If everybody in the world picks red, nobody has taken a risk to die. If everybody in the world chooses blue, yeah, you all live, but you've also taken the risk. You've rolled the dice.
No, they've taken risks that other people will die.
I don't care about other people.
Well, then that's kind of the difference between the blue and the red. Didn't I kind of say that?
Why should I care about someone that's willing to kill themselves?
I mean, not really. I mean, because they press blue doesn't mean they want to kill themselves. They press blue because they don't want to be responsible for another person's death.
I'm not responsible for anybody's death. I was forced to
the whole thing about sacrificing your life for other people. They
would die.
For people that want to be
Monty, are you religious?
No, I'm not fucking religious.
Okay, do you think that the people that go put themselves in harm's way to protect other people are losers?
No, but they chose to do that. I didn't choose.
Okay, then why did you just say? Why would I? Well, you chose to be in the military. Did you not?
That's not.
What if I said, why should I care about a guy that chooses to go die for other people?
Hey, Sid, here's the thing. You're more than free to choose whatever decision you want. You're free to choose red or blue. If you choose blue and it doesn't get to 50%, you die.
I'm talking about you saying that one of the reasons you choose red is because you don't really care about people that are willing to risk their own lives to save the lives of others.
It's not risking your life. Hold on, no. This is
it is a risk. It's not built in that you asserting that everyone's going to choose red or that a majority are even going to choose red. It's just a baseless assertion. It's just going off intuition, which maybe you're right, maybe you're not, but you have no reason to believe that it's obviously going to be more than 50% that chooses red.
If I'm wrong, why would I choose the one that has a risk of me dying?
Well, I understand that, but I think there's other considerations to take into place.
There's no other considerations. Your life is on the line right now.
Imagine this, Monty. Somebody gives you two different choices. You can either choose to die peacefully right now, or you can die in the apocalypse. Which one do you choose? Because that's also kind of the dynamic of this.
No, it's not. So now you're changing the scenario to things it's not.
No, what do you think would happen, like I said earlier, if 48% of the world's population just disappeared?
Then the percentage of the population that is so fucking dumb that they don't understand basic statistics would die, and we'd have a much smarter world.
No, we'd have billions of people. Many people that make society function would just disappear completely from the earth.
The people that make society function are picking red, my guy. I hate to tell you.
I don't know about that, bro, because there's a lot of self-sacrificing people out here who just pick blue.
Why would you sacrifice for literally nothing? When you sacrifice for something, it's for something better.
I mean, let's be real. There's a lot of self-sacrificing people out here who just do
For
it just
what?
because.
You need to have something to sacrifice for.
Yeah, they don't want to be responsible for other people's death. A lot of people will sacrifice.
You're not responsible. The person that's holding this fucking cockamamie fucking theory is responsible.
But the thing is, though, but you chose red knowing it could possibly cause the death of another person. Therefore, you accepted that reality.
Hey, Brittany, there's two buttons. One's blue and one's red. If you push the blue button, and it doesn't, 50% of the world does not push the blue button, you die. If you push the red button, you cause the people who pushed the blue button and didn't get to 50% to die. Like, it's a poll. It goes one way or the other.
So your direct action of pushing a button kills people. Your direct action
Of pushing
contributes to a bigger picture. You have a more culpable responsibility in the red button situation.
Yes.
I don't know what the question is, but that's my opinion.
So if the question is, there's two buttons. One's blue and one's red. You have a choice to pick either. Everybody picks at the same time. Okay. You can't talk to anybody about it. You can't fucking convince anybody of anything. The blue button, anybody that presses the blue button will die if the blue button does not get to 50% pressed. If you press the red button and nothing happens, you don't die. You just fucking you were one more vote in causing blue not to get to 50%.
Okay.
Are you picking red or blue?
All right.
You have to blue has to get to 50% for the people that pick blue to live.
Probably pick blue.
You're gonna pick blue.
Hey.
Then you're dumb.
No, because
you're guaranteed. Dude, you're serious.
Women. Come on,
Dude,
Monty, you out with the trap. Women are more empathetic and like.
Monty, your theory failed when you forgot women existed. Of course, people are gonna pick blue.
You pick red and nothing happens to you, no matter what. If you live. If red doesn't get 50%, you still live.
You can't negotiate, dude. You can't. You don't get to convince people in this thing.
Then that's the people that die. The people that are too. It's a hypothetical situation. It's a fucking trolley cart theory. Or a trolley cart problem.
But all right, hold on. I do need to read Jet Super Chat. He says people can't agree on a flag. You can't hope enough for people.
If it doesn't get to 50%, you die.
I don't know, man. We got enough women in this world to pick blue. So I ain't gonna lie. In this situation, women might have saved the world. W women.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were still in the death pool.
No, if you press red, you don't die.
Oh.
No. Okay.
Depending on the pool of people, I might push red.
Everybody in the world.
Yeah, I might push red.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Monty. I don't know, but all right.
Nothing happens to you if you push red. You don't live, or you don't die. You just fucking.
Except you might be complicit in half the population.
Yeah, I mean,
the same half the population that's dumb enough not to understand a simple fucking question of mathematics.
Okay, now who's doing the moralizing?
The only
people alive are going to be the people evil enough to press the button that kills
not evil.
Like, hold on. I don't know. I think it's come on now. You gotta add in the fact that if you push that red button, you will be responsible for those people's deaths.
They're responsible for their own deaths,
and everything would have been good.
They're responsible for their own deaths. Everybody has the option.
I mean, you the one who picked red, and you accepted that you'd be responsible. Like
the only way that you would die is if you push blue.
I mean, but then again, you could be ensuring that nobody dies by pushing blue. By red, you're risking somebody dying.
No. Guy push. Yes. You're forcing an issue where there isn't one.
No, but it's not just us, guys. People are going to press blue. That's already built in. There's going to be millions, billions of people that press blue.
The way you're framing this is like I said, you said it. We're told that if you pick red, the people who pick blue will die. And if you pick blue, then nobody dies if everybody can get over 51%.
If you have
that, and a lot of people are going to take that if and be
Set,
responsible for somebody's death.
Set,
Be real with
you're basing your entire life on the possibility versus a guarantee of living.
Hey, can I like jump in
Not
here
really.
with
I'm
my
gonna
own
assume that people are going to choose
ascertainment?
blue because they don't want nobody
This
to die.
is
Can I jump in
weaponized
here with my
Nobody wants to
own?
be responsible for people's deaths. I mean, unless you're
How is it
let's start
weaponized
that.
empathy?
Hold up, I want to
Because
jump in
you're
here with my
literally
own.
saying I'm going to be complicit in
yeah.
millions and billions of people dying because you want to fucking push an issue.
I mean,
you're
bro,
making an issue where there
you
is none.
accepted that and you said it's all good. I'm not going to be mad at you for that.
That's weaponized empathy. That's what he's doing.
You said Set was doing that, but
I thought I was just
no. I'm
accepting the
saying
reality of the
weaponized
situation.
empathy is bad. You're trying to high road. You're making an issue where there is none. If you push
How
red,
is it?
if
Bro,
everybody
you made the
pushes
decision.
red,
That's the there's really no issue. You just accept it. I mean, if you're okay with accepting that, okay.
And Monty, within this, you've conceded that you're on board with potentially 49% of the population, as long as they don't understand the thought experiment and you think they should.
Hold on, breaking up a
Sid,
little bit.
it's explained. If you
You
can't
know,
fix your
like,
fucking
that's
mic, get off the
crazy.
fucking stage. If you can't fix your mic and you can't fucking afford good internet, I have a link for Starlink. Maybe you should fucking fix your shit. It is Darwinism. That is 100% Darwinism.
I don't know about that. I think that just goes to show where your head's at. Well, you wouldn't. Well,
there is no
risk. Blue. I'm thinking everybody's not really stressing about pressing blue because, like, all right, well, I don't want to be responsible for nobody's death. Nobody dies if we all press.
No
blue,
one's going to die if everybody pushes red. Set. That's the point.
I mean, nobody's gonna die if everybody presses blue. But if we're talking about the morality,
but you have
of
to
it,
convince
then
everybody
most people would
to
probably
be
press blue because they don't want to be responsible for nobody's death, just in case. Just on the
Hold
just
on.
in case measure because you don't
it's
know.
not the same thing. Why can you not hear me?
No,
It
I
is
can
not
hear you.
the
I'm just
same
not
thing.
agreeing with you.
Set. It is not the same thing. You have to convince everybody to take a risk not to die. You just have to convince everybody to not fucking die. Like, those are not the same thing.
No, because then I have to. If I was try to convince people to red, I'm be like, oh yeah, guys, be okay with taking other people's life just for your survival.
It's not. You're framing it that way because that's how it.
Because
that's
what the red button is told to. That's how you frame the red button. Is this?
That's not how I framed the red button. I said if you press the red button, nothing happens to you.
No, nothing happened to
What
you.
what
It happened to
incentive
other
is there?
people?
What
I
incentive?
mean, it's kind of like self-preservation versus self-sacrifice.
Exactly.
I get you. And
Yes.
I hear that
That's
argument.
all
but
the question
under that
is.
circumstance,
That's all the question
under
is.
that circumstance, I honestly feel like most people, seeing that a lot of people are religious people, wouldn't want that.
Really? So a fucking hypothetical. You think that people are going to risk their lives hoping that
I don't know,
everybody
bro.
else
There's like
risks their life?
2.5 billion Christians on this earth. There's about a whole bunch of hella Muslims here, Hindus that don't believe in taking human life. And
It's not
under any
taking human life.
circumstance.
They just
So
die.
when
You're not
phrase it
killing
when you
anybody.
phrase it like that, I think a lot of people's morality is going to speak more.
If
than
you
their
phrase it, you're
self-preservation
right.
on
If
that.
you phrase it like everybody's a mass murderer for fucking catering to the dumb people in society, then yeah, I guess
wouldn't call them dumb. I just call them more empathetic than the other side.
what is there to be empathetic about? What do you gain by pressing
You
the blue
don't
button?
want to be responsible for nobody's death, but on the other side, I guess you're
put in
okay
a
with it.
situation where it's live or die, and your choice is for half the population to die.
Can I put some rationale behind this, like some actual educational rationale behind this? Because I've been looking this up the whole time y'all have been going at it. So can I do that?
Sure, why not?
All right. Identity. People press their color button. Here's why that's the most defensible answer. I asked AI after doing like a quick few searches after feeding it some information from a couple opposing viewpoints, and this is what it gave me. Identity over outcome, decades of research, Taj Fell's social identity theory, Jonathan Haidt's moral.
Good.
Y'all still hear me?
Yeah,
You're not talking.
Okay, moral foundation work, Lillian Mason's uncivil agreement all converge on the same finding. Humans sort themselves into groups first, then rationalize. Policy preferences follow tribal identity, not the other way around. People don't evaluate options neutrally. They start with conclusions, my team is right, and work backwards. The button's label becomes the primary data point, not what it delivers. Loss of applied identity. I'm gonna read this. It's not that long. I'm trying to get through it quickly. Loss of applied identity. Pressing another team's button doesn't just feel like a neutral choice. It feels like a betrayal, a loss of self, and a psychological cost of that outweighs the rational gain of outcomes. Voters repeatedly vote against their material interests when group identity is threatened. Working class voters on both sides do this consistently. Brexit is a clean example. Outcomes were secondary to the identity statement the vote represented. A small percentage of people in high need for and a high need in.
Can you just get to the point where it says what we should press?
It doesn't. It outlines what the argument.
I can explain what you were saying. Pretty much, you were saying that people are going to go from their tribal aspects and when choosing to vote. So, like I said, it was what group they belong to, religion, what values do they hold.
You're ascribing that all of Christians are going to press the blue button.
No. I'm describing all different cultures, even
not
Christians.
describing. You're ascribing. You're putting something on somebody that
here's
you have.
The thing: most people are going to go from that lens. They're going to go from their values and what they hold sacred.
And your values
don't values, and outside of that, they're outside of religion. Outside of religion, there are people
okay.
That think that
so
you shouldn't kill.
The point of the question. No, the point of the question. The point of the question is it's not to see who would pick what. It's to show that humans don't actually vote based off of what the policies will do. They vote based off of what sound goods or what their group says sound goods, and the majority of the people that would actually be the decision maker are actually the smallest. A small percentage of people in high need cognition, low tribal attachment are genuinely ideologically homeless. Press whichever button gets them the outcome. That's probably the single digit biggest determining factor.
All right, well. All right.
So in other words, all the idealistic people would fucking die because
most
of chaotic.
Most of the world's idealistic.
And did you not listen to what he said?
Did you not listen to what he said? Because he said people are going to go off their moral framework in the tribe that they're around.
That talking when you're
most
talking,
people
you're not
don't want to die. Most people do not want other people's death on their conscience.
And it's not on their conscience, dude. You're not listening. You're talking because you want to be idealistic.
You don't want to accept the fact that, if you press the red button, you would be complicit in other people's death.
No, you wouldn't.
If nobody presses the blue button,
problem?
Great. But if they do, then you saying you're okay with that.
Why would you sacrifice yourself for absolutely nothing?
No, I'm not really sacrificing myself. You're assuming that I would die. That's the thing.
Yes,
you're assuming
because
that red would automatically win, but you don't know that.
So here's the thing. Even if red loses, I still win.
Guess what? Okay, great. That means nobody died then. But that's even better. But red, there's a potential of somebody dying. Do you not see the difference?
No, if you pick blue, you
just told us the difference. You just told us that red, there's a chance of somebody die. Blue, nobody dies. Not even you guys. But if you guys win, people die. Blue, do you not understand that, Monty?
Anybody that picks blue has the potential to die. Why is that an issue?
Because the people who pick blue are also assuring that the people who pick red are alive as well. The people who pick red don't really give a fuck if the other side dies. That's the problem. You're kind of exposing yourselves.
Why would you pick something that has a chance of you dying when the alternative?
Because Monty, I already told you, my moral compass does not allow me to.
Your moral compass will kill you. Your moral compass is fucking demagnetized.
No, it's not. I'm going to lean that way regardless. It's just who I am. I think that's who a lot of people are. They just don't want that on their conscience. So they're most likely going to choose blue instead of the side that might cost somebody their life when they could choose blue and nobody dies. Not even you.
I think it's worth noting that
it's not you. No, Set. It's not you pick blue and nobody dies. Everybody in the world, more than 50% of the world has to do that or people do die.
Monty.
If one person
in circles at this point,
if one person picks blue, that person is going to die. If 1 billion people pick blue and it's not at 50%, 1 billion people die. If 2 billion people pick blue and it's not at 50%, they die. If you pick red, you don't die.
But if you pick red, you've accepted the death of those people who pick blue.
No, you've accepted living. No. You've accepted
cool.
that.
I mean, you
want
accepted
to live.
living on the sacrifice of those people. That's what you did.
They
I mean,
didn't
you could
say-
sit
they
there and
didn't-
try
they-
to water
they-
it down, but
hold
that's
on.
what you did.
No one forced those people to pick
I mean,
blue.
look, bro, if you got to water it down like that, then okay, but we're just going to disagree.
Picking red is the same as not picking anything at all.
No, picking red is allowing people who pick blue to die. Like, I don't know why you're trying to
They
escape from
chose to pick blue.
I mean, all right, Monty. We're just gonna agree to disagree.
You chose to pick blue.
Monty, we're gonna agree to disagree
You made
because
an
I
issue
picked
where there isn't an
blue
issue.
because I don't want nobody to die. You picked red because you're okay with people dying. That's the
No,
difference.
you're trying to phrase
And
it and
you're
trying
okay
to
with
high
that,
road
Monty,
me.
and that's
you're
fine.
trying to high road the situation.
No,
that's not
Monty,
gonna
that's the
work.
reality of the situation, and you've even accepted that
So
reality.
I have to
So it's
die
kinda
because
crazy that
there's
we're even
people-
arguing about this.
So I have to die in order to be morally sound in your world.
No, Monty, you just have to vote blue so nobody dies. How about that?
I have to vote blue so I die.
You don't have to, but I'm just saying you can. Vote blue, nobody dies, right?
There you go.
Everybody get to that 51%. There you go. Nobody dies. You vote red and you risk it, and not everybody, and not everybody gets to that 51%. Well, all of them die. And you was okay with that.
Set. You've watched Squid Games, right?
Squid Games, yeah, half of it.
Okay. At least in that half, typically the side that wants to stay in the game, are they the good guys or the bad guys? Or the team that wants to get the fuck out and stop risking people's lives, are they the good guys or the bad guys here?
Well, it all depends on their. Well, I remember in the game, everybody had their own self-interest for staying in, and those who just wanted to get the F out once staying in because they realized what the prize was, and those who really didn't care, they just wanted to get the F out.
Yeah.
So it all like just in this situation, it all depends. Are you okay with dragging all these people along who really don't want to be here for your own self-interest, or are you okay with just letting go of your self-interest and helping people get out?
Letting go of your self-interest is pushing the red button and ending the game.
No, letting go of your self-interest would be pressing the blue button and make sure.
No, it's not.
No, you pressing the red button is okay. Is you dragging everybody along with your self-interest?
You're
and also
okay with
allowing you to be
continuing to risk
sacrificed
lives.
for your self-preservation.
Set. How did you fucking? But literally, the fucking buttons are red and blue to end the game or to continue the game.
I'm not really sure what the problem is.
You watched Squid Games and you said everybody that's fucking continuing on the game is bad, right?
No, I just said everybody's working within their own self-interest.
No, everybody's like the people that are trying to end the game. They're working in their self-interest. They get nothing.
Yeah, but they used to get the hell up out of there and get back to go home. That's something. I mean, just because you see it as nothing,
They
that's
get
something.
to live. That's the. What side was the protagonist on?
What was it? He wanted to finish the game, right?
Yes, he wanted to finish the game and continue risking people's lives.
It is what it is.
So that's the bad side. That's the side you don't want to be on.
That's the self-preservation side. That's your side.
No, it's not my
That's your
bro.
side.
Set, are you fucking retarded? Is your IQ
No,
under 100?
Monty. No, Monty. We just disagree. And I guess you're just
No, you're trying to ascribe
to where you got to throw that
trying to ascribe your morals onto something.
confused. I guess you're a little bit too emotionally attached to the argument, so we're just gonna move
I'm
on.
literally trying to convince you not to die.
Monty. You're not gonna convince me to sacrifice other people's lives for self-preservation.
You're going to die. So you're telling
Monty. No, Monty.
You're telling me.
Maybe, but it's not a guarantee. Maybe, but it's not a guarantee. And at least I stuck to my values. As a man, at least I stuck to my values.
Not values. There's literally nothing at stake here.
I'm not gonna, bro. Monty, you just said you're okay with allowing other people's death for your own self-preservation. That's it. That's all.
So when are you registering as a Democrat, Seth?
Monty, that is ridiculous, bro. You're being ridiculous now.
It's not
now
ridiculous.
We're moving on.
He's got a reputation as a hawk and is adamant about removing the uranium from the regime. But we're also dealing with an underground madhouse.
As you know, it's a very disjointed, unfriendly leadership, unfriendly to each other. They're not getting along. They're very, very confused by what's happened because essentially most of their military has been wiped out.
All right, I'm out.
But we
all right,
just
big
had a
dog. I'll catch you on the next
conversation with
one.
Iran. Let's see what happens.
Appreciate you.
But I would say that I am not happy.
And shout out Monty. Like I said, even though you be pissing me off sometimes, I do love you, bro. This is what it is. All right, shout out Monty.
Leadership is very disjointed, very argumentative with each other. They come back, one says one thing, one says another. They're very confused.
We're getting peace proposals, but they're not coming from the gay Ayatollah. He isn't actually in charge. The military's making him put out statements like Baghdad Bob. No Lips says our bases are paper tigers. Okay, Lips. The moderates, they want
this whole gay Ayatollah bit is killing me.
Bro, I swear to God. It is the funniest thing ever, though, because what was it? It was a CIA report that's suggesting that he's gay. And bro, Jesse's been running with it ever since. And it kills me every trip. I'm just like, okay, bro. Bro got a wife and kids that we blew up, but you know, I guess that don't matter.
Hardliners believe the embargo is an act of war, and they want to start shooting. They're either bluffing, have a death wish, or just want to jack up oil prices again to squeeze 47. But even though they're on their knees, they're still showing a little creativity. Kamikaze dolphins. The Persians want to strap mines to dolphins to weaponize the strait.
Pause that.
Don't tell Peter.
I got some personal experience with that. So this is where I'm gonna say the U.S. has already been doing that.
Kamikaze dolphins?
We were actually trying to figure out how to get dolphins and sea lions to hunt for mines because, because they can hold their breath. They understand basic direction following for the most part when you can get them to listen, and they have really good eyesight. Well, a lot of these dolphins and sea lions don't exactly have the best self-preservation instincts, and they have deleted themselves probably on purpose, probably not on purpose, looking for mines. And so there was like a leak where Iranians was like, yeah, these would be the perfect kamikaze things. Yeah, what's worth noting on that is they have a tendency to run back to their trainers or the people they don't like the least.
I'm sorry.
So they're very vindictive.
I'm sorry, but where are the animal rights people when you need them? Because this sounds like kind of wrong, but okay.
Every nation does it, and yeah, if people really cared about the planet, we should probably, I don't know, ban the usage of animals and explosives.
These rogues are desperate. The blockade's already forced 45 ships to do a 180. And now the Pentagon is...
We are running low on time, but you know what? I do want to get your opinion on this. So wait, not guess, dude, but gaming. What would you choose, red or blue? I'm not going to hound you on it. I just want to
know. Honestly, I would refuse to vote, to be honest.
Hey, I give it to you.
It's because it's reminiscent of a question me and my brother thought up. It was also a thought experiment, but it was a thought experiment based off of justice. You ready for it?
What's up?
Okay. Your goal in this is to basically, you're going to put yourself, not literally, this is not trying to get be a heretic or anything. It's just a thought experiment. Okay? God is just, he's fair, he's righteous, his rulings are fair, equal, and just. So you're going to do your best to rule in that same position. You can't say both, you can't say neither. You have to give you have to make a judgment, and you have to do so in a way to where you come out unilaterally just, fair, and honest. Based off of all the information, whether you know it or not. Okay? Keyword, whether you know it or not. Based off of any and all information around the globe. Who had it worse? The slaves during American slavery or the Jews during the Holocaust? If that doesn't hit your fancy, who had it worse? The African tribes during the European occupation or the Chinese during the Japanese occupation?
Jesus.
Or if that doesn't fit your fancy, who had it worse? The Cubans under Castro or the Russians under Stalin?
Stalin. I don't know why. I feel like that's an easier one. But the first two though, those were pretty tough picks. But I think you was running this by me before.
But you have to give an answer. You got to come out righteous and just, and you have to consider what you know and also do a little bit of foreshadowing on what you might not know.
I mean, if you told me to choose between the Holocaust and like black people with cattle slavery, I mean, due to the effects of what cattle slavery was with the whole, taking of children, that was killing as well, raping and all this crazy stuff. I mean, due to all of the atrocities built on top of it, I would have to say cattle slavery for the blacks. And the fact that it lasted, a while, longer than it should have.
Well, I would say when you didn't quite rule that way. You didn't quite rule good.
I get. I mean, that's your opinion, but shoot, if you want to argue,
remember the context. You got to make a fair and just ruling, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you run into the point of that thought experiment is not necessarily to give you a right answer or a wrong answer. Sometimes the thought experiment is just simply to highlight an overarching point. Who suffered more? Suffering is suffering.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I mean, both sides suffer though, and it's really hard to gauge who suffered more because I mean, we don't know their mental state. We weren't there to take notes.
Mm-hmm. And
hey, so after that lashing, how do you feel after that? All right, so after you
right.
gas. So
how did you feel having to put your babies in a catapult launcher so a bunch of people could like shoot them in front of you, and then you had to go and bury them in your family? On the other hand, it's like, how did it make you feel that the wife you just married got raped by the master and then sold off while you had to watch?
Yeah. How did that feel? So I'm pretty sure that, trust me, crazy amount of sufferings on both sides.
Right. And so
but here's the problem though, with the whole red button, blue button thing is that like, look, I understood the whole self-preservation side, and trust me, I get it. And I can see why people want that to be the obvious options because, oh, well, everybody just look out for yourself. And I'm just like, yeah, I get that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just coming from a religious standpoint. But last time I checked, I don't know. My God doesn't want me to be responsible for nobody's death. Nobody at all. And I don't want to be responsible for nobody's death. Nobody at all. Even if that means sacrificing myself on my beliefs, on my morality. And I don't think you should really be shamed for dying on your 10 toes as a man for what you believe in. And
this is where
picking that red button will be going against everything I stand for as a person. So if you're gonna call somebody retarded for standing on their values as a man, then I really don't know what to say.
And this is where I say, like, it's not really a question of red versus blue. It's a question that's trying to highlight where people actually stand. And like I said, the whole time while y'all were talking, I was just reading different sources to get both sides of the owl's perspective. And I ran it through AI just to make sure my own point was like solidified, because I reached that same conclusion of ultimately people don't really choose anything based off of like the outcome. There's only a small portion of people that actually do. And ironically, that's the portion of the population that people tend to listen to the least. So if I already know that my decision making is not going to get listened to anyway, why in the hell do you need my vote?
True. But no. Now I don't want to back you into that corner. I was about to hit you with but as a Christian though.
No, go for it. Oh.
All right, as a Christian though, like, wouldn't you be more compelled to pick blue just off, your religious beliefs?
No.
Okay. Fair.
And here's why. Because what a lot of people, and that's kind of why I didn't like when Monty and Sid were, throwing the whole Christianity thing around. In Psalms, it talks about using wisdom. The Bible's littered with things that require the reader to exercise wisdom. And it would be wise for you to consider, like Jesus said it himself, consider the cost. Does a builder not sit down and consider his materials? Does a
Yeah, but we're
general
talking
not?
about the same guy that sacrificed his life for all of humanity. So I don't know if that's the best guy
But
to use.
no, here's where Jesus was
mean-
talking about using wisdom in that same parable. He compared his sacrifice to like using cost because the overall objective was to reconcile us back to him. He had already considered what the ramifications would be, which is why over and over and over and over and over, Old Testament and New Testament, there's a constant plea for us to turn back to him. He already knows the outcome and what it's going to be. He's considered the cost. That's why that parable that I was speaking to you earlier, consider the cost, really think about what it is you're doing. He's telling that to us about our decision making. And sadly, not a lot of people do decision making or really consider what it is that they do or the outcome that they take. They kind of just listen to the first part of a statement and then they run with it.
All right. And all right, bro, we're going to leave it on that, man. I got family coming over in a couple minutes, so I'll see if I can come back on later, though. But all right, man. Appreciate you for coming on, man. Shout out to you guys. I'll be back on hopefully later on if I'm not.
You're going to be twisted.
Yeah, intoxicated, but
You're
don't
gonna
worry.
look at that sun. You're going to look at that sun and be like, oh my God, what is that? Turn it off.
All right, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys for pulling up. Be happy you're 5'11", not 5. I'm weak as hell. I'm weak. Now, bro, I'm actually, you know what? Somebody said, you look short. I could tell. I'm like, bro, I'm like 6'2". Wait, what? And first off, why y'all worry about my height, man? Don't be worried about that.
It's probably one of them girls.
That I'm short. Assume that I'm
probably
short,
one of them girls that's trying to get your number, bro. You're 30.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Girls like that, a girl that don't want to use her profile, don't have a profile pic, I'm good. But all right, bro, we're out here. We're out of here, guys. Appreciate the support, guys. Peace. Yo, this is S.E.T Media, man. I'm here to talk to you about our partner, Kalshi. Kalshi is the largest legal prediction market in the United States with over 1 million users. It's available in all 50 states. They are a real money market. People trading on what they think will happen. You can build a position and trade in and out of almost any prediction you think. Kalshi facilitates trade between people, kind of like the stock market. There's no limiting your trades just because you're winning. Kalshi will pay you interest on your position. So if you make a long-term trade, you can earn a return even before the market is resolved. If you want to try out Kalshi, go ahead and give them a try, guys, at my link, kalshi.com/setmedia. Get $20 when you trade 20, so it's 20 for 20, guys. Once again, that's kalshi.com/setmedia. Go ahead and use my code setmedia to get $20 when you trade 20. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Kalshi, because like I said, it is a trading market where you can put in your prediction and you can go ahead and earn interest on that. You can make money off the knowledge that you know, and if you put $20 in, you get $20 back. So all right, guys, make sure to go check out my guy at Kalshi, because you can get in on good trades like who Trump nominated as Fed chair, will Ali Khamenei be outed as the supreme leader, and will the U.S. confirm that aliens exist before 2027? So if you want to get in on this action, once again, go ahead and go to my partners at Kalshi. Go ahead and use the link, or you can hit the QR code above and use SET Media to go ahead and get $20 when you trade 20. This is Set from SET Media, and shout out to Kalshi.